Gonna do like
You're
some
in the deep end now. You got this.
Sure,
bro.
yeah. Well, we were in the deep end. But yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Theory Wave or Stupendous Theory or whatever it's called. I still don't even know yet. And we have the OG of OGs with us. We got the trifecta here. We got my boy who has rebranded himself. If you guys remember, Dashar. And he's going to be making a comeback to Star Wars YouTube, and I'm really excited about it.
Thank you. Greetings, exalted ones. I think I haven't said that in like
Holy
4
shit,
years.
dude!
Wow,
Chills,
dude.
bro. For
Wow.
real.
Yeah, it's been
For
forever.
real.
So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about Skeleton Crew, and we're going to talk a lot about Dash and like where he's been, what he's been up to, what happened with the channel, and how it's coming back. So I know a lot of you guys, I see chats like going crazy already. Be like, what Dash Star? What the fuck? Yeah, that's cool. All right, so yeah, we'll talk about Skeleton Crew in a bit. Dash, what's going on? What's new? What's new in your world? What happened to the channel? When are you coming back? How are you coming back? What's going on?
All right, you really said, throw me in the deep end. So number one, thanks for having me here.
You got it, bro.
Let's go.
The two biggest Star Wars channels on the planet, and you want to talk about me is just crazy to me. But
Of course we do.
I'm pretty pumped, to be honest. There's like 4 years of compressed hype just about to come out. So I have been creating content around Dark Lore RPGs, hence the name Dark Lore Dash. I just can't lose the dash. A lot of it's Knights of the Old Republic. Diablo was a big one, but I didn't like Diablo 4 so much. The Elder Scrolls, really kind of, as I was saying to Stupendous before we started, stories and franchises, older ones where I found this is before, new stuff happened, and I'm not connecting with new content so much, which we also all had spoken about. And so the reason why I moved away from the channel, I think it was, no, I remember the moment. It was Last Jedi came out December 2017, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting in the theaters and I was in the first 15 minutes.
No, 2018. Was it 2017?
2018? 2017
wait,
December,
Yeah,
I think.
2017, yeah, you're right.
Dude, they fired him off like crazy for a while there. They
For
really
a
did.
while, what's
crazy.
happened?
Yeah, I know,
I know.
dude. The Rise of Skywalker happened. The Last Jedi happened.
Yeah,
Exactly,
and I got checked it because I'd been saying for a while, I kind of guessed Disney's plan, but I didn't think I was going to be that on the ball. I was like, what Disney's going to probably do, because, figurines and the toy action figure market kind of is the bigger part of their money. I thought they've already captured us as an audience. They're probably going to try and appeal with a younger audience, mainly a female demographic. And then kind of, I was hoping just get all the best of the expanded universe and create content around that. I mean, why wouldn't you just mine that and then fill out? So that's what I thought. And then when I started to realize they only cared about kids and maybe, hey, this is Disney, this isn't, for you anymore. That's when I made the video and I said I was going to go hands off. And I floated for a year making content until, and this is the theory. Stupendous. In January 2019, I made a video about a time stone theory because I was so into the Marvel arm of Infinity War.
Yeah.
And then I started just making content like crazy till Endgame came out. But I had this same feeling that we'd hit the peak at Endgame.
Yeah.
Did you have that feeling at all, Wave?
100%, dude. Like,
Yeah.
the hype for Infinity War and Endgame was like unparalleled, unprecedented, except for The Force Awakens. And like, that is some of the best time of my whole life, bro. Like, that anticipation for those movies and like actually sitting in the theater and have it be like an event. It's like you're getting on the best roller coaster in the world and it's 3 hours long and you're going to love every second of it. And then they kill it and like they rip that just pure joy from you. Like we were talking about, like Star Wars is supposed to be joy and they just take it. But yeah, dude, those times were some of the best times in my whole life.
And you guys would remember, and anybody who was around 2014, 2015, pre-Force Awakens, around the Force Awakens, the hype, You could cut it with a knife. Everybody was so happy. It was palpable. We didn't think that Star Wars was coming back in such a prolific way. And Disney was saying, we're going to do this, this, and this. And so when things went downhill with The Last Jedi for myself, and I made a video saying I didn't like it, I was kind of gut punched because I never had such a forceful reaction. I was used to everybody being happy and us all being friends and Star Wars lovers. And that divide happened so quickly. And again, I hate to say, but like it just divided and split the fandom, I think, personally.
Yeah, no, I think that's more a statement of fact than an opinion, dude. It's like clearly the divide with The Last Jedi just right down the middle. And there's been no ground given since, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah,
Right.
that was his intention. He wanted to divide all of us.
That's true. Ryan Johnson did say that. I just dude, we've talked about this horse is beyond dead, but like don't hire people like that is all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Well, I had some insight. I think this is probably circling to somewhere where we should go. And I'll end my story quickly, but I was watching Skeleton Crew and I was feeling that there was a lot of TLC when it came to the story beats, the characters, and it was really focused on a contained story without Disney trying to, tick boxes of whatever audience they were trying to capture, which I spoke to before, because clearly they're trying to capture one specific sliver of an audience. But the problem I find is that if George Lucas has created a universe and it's a sandbox and you're looking at it through a small, mission statement from executives about we need demographics, 9 to 15-year-old girls, etc., or whoever, I don't know, I'm not there, but what they do is it's like looking at the universe through a keyhole. They're not like when George opened the expanded universe, which I maybe controversially like better than say that I would take the EU over the movies, just personally.
Oh, 100%.
It gave so many diverse voices the chance to play in the sandbox. But whereas now it's like a closed down, only the cool kids, they've got red tape around their little sandbox. And it's not, it's moved away from this broader vision. And so I was really excited to watch Skeleton Crew and actually feel those old, those Star Wars feelings that you only get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So to end things quickly, I got demonetized at the peak of Endgame. It had happened a couple of times. John Williams' company, Warner Chappell, had demonetized me before, and that sucked. His Theory's gone through this. And then I got demonetized for, and they used, YouTube said that they wouldn't tell me why they did it, except I used too many capital letters in my titles of my videos.
What? Just that I've never heard that before. That is insane.
I was so devastated because it felt personal. And as you guys know, I don't know, like to do this and put everything that you have into it, and to have somebody just arbitrarily make a decision like that, and that it's BS and that nobody else, like so many titles do it, that they're just trying to mess with you. And so that kind of just put me in the ground a little bit until The Mandalorian. And I got excited and I trained a guy up and I said, let's do this together, because I started my new channel in the interim. And then I said to him, what if I like train you and you take over the channel, effectively buy it off me, and you go with Star Wars, because I feel like that ship has sailed. I just could sense that it wasn't going in the direction I wanted. And he did, and he made a lot of content until about a year or two ago, he just went hands off. And recently he said he changed directions from Dashar, rebranded to Lawstar, because why would he be Dash? And then he rebranded again. And then he spoke to me about 2 weeks ago and said, I want to do AI-based stuff for like Reddit videos, something away from Star Wars. I don't know exactly, and I don't want to speak to what he was doing, but I just said, I think that would be a mistake, and I will 100% come back as Dashar just to save the channel, because I think people really are there for one reason. It's for Star Wars and lore and stuff, and I will take the time out of my schedule to try and revitalize that and give you money for it. But he wasn't interested in what I came up with, which what I thought was fair for the channel, and so I just went, all right, I guess I'll just maybe start a new Dash Star. So I did. I just took one of my other channels and thought, you know what, let's brand it to Dash Star and see where it goes from there. And so I think what I'm going to do is focus on the lore that I love, just like you guys. Like, you've been carrying the torch so much. Theory has done what I wish I did, which is you've kept the old crew, all the fans together by speaking to them. Even if you don't like the content, you're still critiquing it in a respectful way. But also, you know, I said to you, aren't you scared of being too negative? And you said, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be candid. And I think a lot of people take comfort in having somebody to listen to engage with, to talk to, because they feel the exact same way. And then you've done this step ahead, which I've always said you're amazing for doing, which is creating your own Star Wars content. You know, you're actually, you're physically, I remember in like 2018, he said, I'm making a fan film and I'm putting up $100,000. And I said, you're in, like, that's in, like, nobody could even think of doing that. Well, it was like 100,000, like, not credits, dollars.
Yeah.
And of course, Stupendous, you've kept prolific with your uploads. And I was watching one the other day about Luke Skywalker. I know how much you love that dude. You just EU Skywalker. It's, I can feel it through the screen.
Dude, he's the GOAT.
Yeah. You're keeping the EU alive. So what I think, I'm not 100% sure on what I'm doing. I do have Dash Star up, and I think I'm going to try, and number one, be candid like Theory. And I'm sorry if I'm sweating it. It's like 100 degrees in here. And I'm getting so excited. And two, focus on dark lore for Star Wars. Maybe do something like Star Wars Dark, because they're the stories that interest me, the adult ones. And that was why my favorite story, like, I know you guys love Darth Bane. My favorite story is the audiobook for Red Harvest. That's like The Thing, which is my favorite horror movie in Star Wars. And I always thought like Disney would think about branching out. I don't know why. But so now I'm like, you know what? Theory's paved the way. We're going to have to roll up it's on us now. Like, we literally going to have to show them, because we've critiqued respectfully for so long and they're not budging.
Yeah. Dude, if you made a horror Star Wars project, I would cry. I love that. I think that horror and Star Wars is just the perfect marriage ever. But I agree. Star Wars Theory's done a great job at keeping the fans that sort of, we all got our feelings hurt because we love this franchise, and provided a place where we can all come and be like, yo, dude, this kind of isn't the Star Wars that I like. What's wrong with it? Where's it going? Because I don't know about you guys, but that's a really tough conversation to just have with, your friend at the gym or something. This is a really unique spot where, we're all, I use this word all the time in my videos, but we're disillusioned with the franchise. But this is a really good, healthy environment, and it's been so cool for me. And I'm so glad that you're back, man. And I'll support you in any way that you need.
Me too.
I'm hype.
Me too, dude. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I'm speechless, which is good, because I've been speaking for 17 minutes straight. Hopefully you guys.
Dude, these go on.
You've been away for years, man.
Yeah, dude. We're here for you. Like, I'm hyped. Like, the second Theory texted me today, I was like, no fucking way Dash Star's coming on. I am so excited.
Yeah, and Dash and I have talked for years on and off in DMs and stuff, and he was very supportive when all that shit went down several months ago, and he's always been like a friend to me. And you guys say, I paved the way, dude. Like, I was watching you guys before I even had a channel, so it's like you guys really set the structure for making content on YouTube for Star Wars. You guys are the real OGs here, and I think it's pretty amazing that all of us now can come together, because really we were from a different time. I call it the golden era, when there were only just like a few of us, and it was more, I don't want to say, it felt like it meant more back then, where now it's just so convoluted. You have so many people that are like fake fans, and you have so many people that are just doing it for this, that, and the other reason. I just feel like back then, like, none of that was really prevalent. We were just like making content from like Legends lore, and like it was just kind of the old school sort of thing, where you just sort of enjoying the stuff that you always enjoyed when you were a kid, and made content about it in like a creative way that you could. And that was it. You built it, and then you built a following in a community, and it was like, what the freak? It was so cool. I still remember our conversation we had on the bus in Germany when we were like chatting about the channel. It was like the first time we really met, and we ended up sitting next to each other on the bus. Do you remember that?
Yeah, dude,
Gamescom.
because he was the bad boy, by the way. He's still the bad boy. I said to Theory, as soon as he became number one, I said, like heavy sits the crown. You are like
everyone treated me like the bad boy. It was weird.
The bad boy. I don't know. It was so funny. I don't know how. It's like you're friends with Mike Zero, and we had a little tight kind of thing going on, which is horrible. Like it felt a lot like high school looking back at it. But I thought I'm gonna take a step outside myself and try to, stop seeing this guy as the bad boy. And
you were the only one that did that, by the way. Because it was like a group of you guys. It was you, Explained, his wife, Hello Greedo, a bunch of other guys, and like I could just always feel every time I'd come around and like at these events and stuff, like it's like when someone's just talking about you and you enter the room and it's like, hey guys.
Yeah, but we all said the same thing. You're the nicest guy. You can't not like you, which is the annoying part. So I was like, it'd be way easier to be like, screw that guy. He's, there's no reason why he's successful. And then I talk to you and I'm like, God damn it, he's so likable. And then I feel bad. But like, Stupendous was the original bad boy. Stupendous.
Oh, there used to be. I avoided that shit like the plague.
I'll tell you the moment, dude. In
he was
my
smart.
books,
he stayed out, man.
I did. I was like, peace. You guys have fun.
No, it was because it's
fuck yourself.
Yeah, it was December 2015. You had made the best thumbnail ever, and I think it was like your big video reveal thing after Force Awakens, and it was Kylo Ren. But you used one of those red circles, and it was, I forget, but I nearly fell over because I was like, this is the greatest thumbnail I've ever seen. And for some reason, people used to always say, you can't use red circles, they're cheap, which is the stupidest thing I've heard now.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that Stupendous wave, look what he's done. And I was on holiday too for 10 days, like literally the day after Force Awakens like happened. So I was so mad I couldn't make videos, and I saw like the greatest thumbnail. I was like, oh man.
That's what happens when you have no time and you're when you have all the time in the world and you're in a new spot, you don't got friends, because I moved from Utah to Florida that year, and it was like no friends, no social life, gym, grind, food, sleep, gym, grind, food, sleep, repeat. And like that's what it is. And then it's like everybody's like, hey, come to these events. And it's like, I know you guys are talking shit. I don't know, but I know. And I'm just an 18-year-old, and I do not feel qualified to deal with that. I'm trying to figure out how to pay my fucking water bill. And that's what happened.
Your water bill? No, none of it matters. Like I said to you before the stream happened, when we're talking about YouTube reps and YouTube in general, you can pay for courses that can teach you to YouTube. They will tell you in a granular level how to make it a thumbnail, how to do this, how to do that. But I promise you, you'll be infinitely happier. You two did it the whole time, which is you just made content that made you happy, and just stayed in your lane, focused on what makes you happy. Because all of that outside noise, thinking that there's not enough space for other people or there's a limited pool of views, is terrible. But also, if you just follow YouTube's advice of how to be cool, everybody would be a Mr. Beast clone, and it would just suck. There's no personality.
Yeah, I know.
Totally.
Well, that's what everyone's doing now. So.
Yeah. Well, that's why you need to come back, Dash, is because you got that like emotion. Like you can talk about the lore in a way where you're analyzing the character's feelings and your feelings, and it doesn't come off as forced, which that is hard because I'm very bad at that. I tried to turn on the camera and like talk about how much I love Luke into the camera, and it just did not work for me. But you're great at that, man.
I appreciate it. Look, when we first started, one of the big things every YouTuber used to say to each other was like, kind of, I know this and I know that. It felt like it was like a knowledge off, but I always found that I was handicapped because I've got no short-term memory. All I remember is how something makes me feel. And that's why I love stories, and that's why I try and tell them. So I really appreciate that. That means a lot, to be honest. Because if you said, "Oh, Dash, you know so much," I'm like, I just will go to a wiki or a book or any source I can, because I'm like, what's that guy's name again? Which just
like all of us, man.
Well, a quick reference. I got so excited stupidly when Skeleton Crew came on and the main kid's name was Wim. And all I thought was, Wim Nictor, which was the first Sith student in Star Wars Red Harvest that, got his ass kicked in the duel and they did those horrible experiments to him. So I was like, well, it's funny that they got their random pool of names and they're like, this one, Wim. I'm sure that, fans won't think about, Wim Nictor getting his ass kicked.
I like Skeleton Crew a lot, man. I thought it felt like it wasn't made by like weirdos, which was nice. But
yeah,
I liked we've all been that little kid, and I think we can all sort of identify with parts of these characters. And dude, I was so much like Neil as a kid. Like, we have to be home at this time, guys, or like we got to be careful. It's just it's so cool to have a Star Wars show where I care about the characters, man, or where the characters make decisions that are in line with the previous moment. So refreshing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I think it was just a really lighthearted, fun sort of start to a show with children. That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's neat.
Neat, not groundbreaking.
But I think that they were also multifaceted and very human. And I don't mean like everything was human. Like, I saw the playground set and I'm like, come on, is that a slide? Obviously other cultures would make a slide, but the cars and whatever. But I found that the characters were beautifully, like, you always want to find the flaws. Like, the father was putting work before his son, but you understood why. Without the mother, he really was overwhelmed. Things like that made sense and didn't feel ham-fisted. Like, there was a beautiful harmony to all of it where you're just like, they're believable. I also really like the visor and the little girls, the Asian girl's face. Sorry, she's the only character I don't remember her name, but I was like, is that a KOTOR visor? Like, what attributes does that give her a plus to? Perception?
Yeah. Maybe she can see like infrared circuits, or I don't know, who knows.
It's like the Apple, what is it? The new Apple product they came out with?
Apple Vision or something.
Yeah, the Quest thing.
The Star Wars version.
Yeah.
It seems very fun so far.
Yeah, I think so.
But beyond that, they finished wrapping on the Mandalorian movie with Grogu. They'll start Ahsoka in the summer, I think. Like, they'll start production in 2025, I think it is. Or am I wrong on that? Let me see. Chat, could you maybe correct me if I'm wrong? Let me see.
I think you're right.
Season 2.
I think Dave Filoni, didn't he come out like and say Ahsoka season 2 is my main focus for 2025? That was like some quote he had. I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
So Dash, I actually have a question. And this isn't about Skeleton Crew or anything, but what for you was the moment where you really started to rethink, like, hey, I want to take a step back from Star Wars, from like something that they made? Like, what about The Last Jedi or another project really forced you to like reevaluate?
And before I answer that, I'm happy to. Thank you for the question, but I'm going to hit you with something that's very important. This wasn't just a channel. I had one tattoo on my body, and that's like, I was so hyped. I believe the hype was real.
What does that say?
Yeah, it says Dashar. It's just not close enough.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was so psyched. I know that I feel so dumb now.
No,
don't
feel dumb.
It was, I think the first time was in Rebels a little bit, where I felt like they had to reconstitute characters. Like, I was really excited for Thrawn, but there was Rebels. I was like, okay, I'm going to weather Rebels because Filoni famously makes like really slow content, and some of it's hit and miss. But I thought, this is for kids. This is not fair. This is building up. But it was literally 15 minutes in the first sequence of The Last Jedi. I was like, I don't know who you are anymore. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know that it's not a Star Wars. Like, it just that I feel like Star Wars is 90% John Williams, but not even that score could. Just that feeling. There is a feeling, like you feel whatever our version of the Force is, and it just felt dead and hollow. And I was like, I'm going into exile. I'm Jake Skywalker. I'm the Luke that we got in canon. You guys are OG EU Luke. That's me. I'm drinking the tit milk and just hating on life for no reason.
So, do you think you're gonna so if you're not gonna get the channel back, well, what does he want? Is he open to it or no?
What he said, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus because he is a good guy and he has
we
his
can
own
talk
reasons.
about it off just live.
No, but what he said was, I am not going to accept a reasonable offer, because I asked him to show me the last 12 months of earnings. And I said, give me 12 months. I don't have a lot of time, but I will rebuild Dashar, and I will give, I was just going to give him all the money that I made if it made a certain point. And I said, I think this is reasonable. And he wanted 10 times that. And he said that the channel means too much to me, like sentimental, value for him. And I was like, well, if it's sentimental value to him, he said, I literally warned you, I'm not going to give you a reasonable price. Well, then that's on me for being naive enough to try and think, because I literally, from a business standpoint, and obviously I'm not great at business because I do things from my feelings. Otherwise I would keep all the channels and just farm content. But I said to him, if you change algorithmically, you've got so many, YouTube's trying to push views to Star Wars, and there's no Star Wars. You're trying to do Reddit videos now. At the moment, even him switching to Beyond Knowing, which was Disney quotes, I believe, it was a kind of cool concept. He was using Kraya's voice and Captain America's voice to do actual American history comments. And I thought, oh, that's a good teaching device. But even that, as you know, YouTube hates that. They're just like, no, you've got a back catalog. And I just thought the audience would be so confused by this point, unless I come back and I get on camera and I speak from the heart, as Stupendous said. I just could see him wasting his time for 12 months versus I give him money for 12 months and he builds another channel with that money. But again, it just wasn't open to it. So I decided I'll just do it myself. I've got a secondary channel.
Yeah.
And that's that.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, dude, we will both promote the shit out of it, man.
Happily.
I really appreciate it. I think I just would rather to find out, to just poke your brain a little bit, because you've been doing this for 6 years? You've been creating you did the what if content before we could get conceptual. No, I'm talking about when you stepped away from just doing Star Wars that was already created, whether it be theories or whatever, but you started creating your own what if universes, have you been doing that for 9 years?
What do you mean? Wait, what if?
Didn't you do your own what if series? Maybe it's not called what if, where you said, what if Vader went light side or something?
Oh yeah, we both made what if scenarios. Yeah,
we both do. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so, but that's kind of it trickles out. I've really relied on other people's content and how it makes me feel and kind of reinterpreting it versus, as you know, Theory, you're writing a book. It's a whole different game to create your own stuff. So I'd love to just pick your brain if I could. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Yeah, and you'll be back on the show many times. Anytime you want to come on, you let us know.
When it's not 100 degrees, I absolutely will. I love talking to you. This is the real hype, though, because this is why we all got in it. That you feel that energy, and it's just like, oh, I wish there was a show. I guess we got Skeleton Crew, but I wish there was okay, here's a question for you.
It's not the same, dude. It's not. Skeleton Crew's not the same.
What's your favorite EU book? Wave first.
We're both going to say the same thing.
What, Bane?
I like Darth Plagueis, man.
I think Bane would be second for me.
Totally, that's my second too.
What's
basic,
your favorite,
dude?
No. What's your favorite Star Wars game?
Probably Shadows of the Empire, but new stuff. The new Jedi game, Fallen Order.
Yeah, my dad was not cool with a lot of video games in the house, but when I could sneak Battlefront 2, I would.
Ooh.
Or Jedi Knight 2. Yeah.
And so, what's your favorite movies?
Empire.
3 and 5.
Right.
3, 5, 6.
I guess movies is not a fair question. What I was going to say is, you guys are probably already aware of what Star Wars used to do with their licensing back between 1998, I think, to 2005. It kind of was the golden era, right? Where they licensed out to other people and they didn't do it in-house and it wasn't so slow. And that all these different people gave their ideas. My point being,
Yeah.
is we were kids-ish. I'm older. I'm like 39. I'm pushing 40. We were younger then, and we had really adult Star Wars thanks to the expanded universe. But it's kind of just imploded down to just this minute. Disney's so afraid of their own shadow because they keep making missteps that they're not. We're not getting content. There is no EU. They're not going to do it. It's just
No, it
like,
doesn't exist.
be happy with a kids show, which is great. I really enjoyed it. Or GTFO, go back to the past, or create your own, as we said.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. It's so it's like, yeah, we have new Mando movie, and then the movie after that to somewhat look forward to. But then when all that's done, what are they going to do?
First Jedi with the if that's not canceled.
But that's when they got to go back to where it all began. That's when they got to go back to the EU. That's when they got to start making stories that are already extremely popular and people love. Even just remastering the old games. I mean, that's such a no-brainer, man. Could you imagine if they remaster Force Unleashed 1 and 2 in today's
Oh my
graphics?
gosh, make a 3. Jeez, make a 3.
Yeah, doesn't have to be canon. I mean, no one really accepts their canon. So
Whitwer's a vampire. He'll still look good anyway if they have to, Oh, they can de-age him.
Yeah, Sam Witwer doesn't age.
Yeah, lucky. Yeah, I spoke to this to you probably a year ago. Theory. I don't know if you remember. Have you played Jedi Outcast and Academy on the Meta, the VR device?
No.
It is the greatest. I don't like VR. I don't like setting up, like spending an afternoon doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the swinging it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Because Jedi Outcast is my favorite story and KOTOR, but oh my God, you feel like a Jedi. I know that's such a cliche thing. It'll make you feel like a Jedi. It is amazing.
Yeah. You know what I wanted to play? I want to play that, but I also want to do. Chat keeps asking me to play Blades and Sorcery or something with a Star Wars mod. Apparently, it's hilarious.
Oh, jeez.
Anybody here in the chat? I mean, we got a small crew tonight, but anybody here in the chat played that? Every time I go on my gaming channel, or like if there's like some bigger stream, people are just like, you got to play Blade and Sorcery with Star Wars mods, and you can just like choke people and like kill them. And just stupid shit. I saw something on a bridge where it was like Darth Vader was on a bridge against like a bunch of guys, and he was just like doing the most crazy things, like force choking one, throwing him over the bridge, and chopping up another guy. It was wild.
No problems with dismemberment either from memory.
No.
The lightsaber doesn't feel like a bat.
Yeah. Doing.
Just bouncing off stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I hate that, man. Dude, it's a lightsaber. It cuts.
They've made it so PG, it's unbelievable. And I really wonder what their thought process is, when it comes to making Star Wars. Like, are they? I don't know, man. I have no idea. I just think they're shitting the bed, and they don't have to.
No, Theory, you're way behind. I don't think that you've heard of this, but we've had a Rey Palpatine. We've had a Rey Skywalker. What about Rey Kenobi? Right? She steps into the Kenobi role.
She was
supposed. You can hear the pitch meeting from execs and Daisy Ridley's management going, "I love it, genius." Like, oh.
Yeah. She's gonna be a Windu next.
Can you believe that they would go into this sequel trilogy and they would not have any single idea of what is what, who is who, and they're just kind of making it up as they go? I can't even begin to fathom this.
That's what happened.
I know.
I can't fathom it either, dude. I can't fathom it either.
I know.
I think they go project to project, and I think they shoot from the hips at all times.
But I'll tell you exactly how they did it, the thought process. What I honestly believe in my stomach. I remember reading in the mid 2010s or whatever. It was like millennials and Gen Z mainly care about social issues and will pay more money to have a brand attached to social issues. Then you have them buy, Star Wars from Lucas for $4 billion, which he made a great comment about Disney. And they go, we're going to recoup this money. Let's okay, and their mission statement: we must get double the audience, so we need young females, and we need to appeal to the social issues, which is again the most narrow view. You're in a universe that's not connected to our own, and the only stories you tell are about our current social issues in a very small sliver that not even the whole, society believe. Like, it's just such a ham-fisted it's such a corporate mercantile approach, like just not caring, being like story first, which again, Skeleton Crew feels like it's story first
so far. Yeah.
So
commercialization.
Yeah. You're right about that.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
No, go ahead, man.
It's hard to take emotion and convert it into like something commercial, because selling emotion is hard. And Star Wars is just pure emotion and like love. And when you take that and you try to shove it into a corporate box, it's not going to fit because it's not meant to be there.
Yeah.
I think that you can fire needs friction. And I'll give you one example. Before Feige took over Marvel, I believe, still at the Avengers level, there was supposedly, I forget his name, there was an old exec for Marvel, and he kind of had the final say over Feige. And Feige will push against him, but he was the kind of cigar smoking guy. Again, I read this, so this is all just conjecture. And he was like, you need to see Black Widow's tits and make it sexy and blah, blah, blah. And Feige was like, no, we need to respect the characters. Anyway, what we got was a little bit of a trade-off of, it was still kind of, it felt like comics and it was a little bit ham-fisted, but at the same time, they weren't afraid to be PC. Whereas you felt as soon as Feige got the reins, I personally believe you felt that side just drop off. And without the two ideas clashing, the two ideals, you just got Feige, and it's not great, to be honest. Everybody thought he was the Lord and Savior, kind of like Filoni. I don't know how you guys feel about him, but I think he's good, but I don't think he is, the next coming of, I don't know, Star Wars Jesus. I was going to say,
I used to.
A terrible example.
I used to really defend him with everything, and then now that I see that he is so in power there, it's like with each project, this is another chip, and it's kind of like if you look at my channel and the way I kind of conducted myself, it's like I started out as this like starry-eyed kid thinking Star Wars is what it used to be when I was a child, and then starting to slowly realize that they really don't have a plan, that this is actually Disney, that it's not anything to do with George Lucas, and like, holy shit, they have all these weird agendas, and now it's just not what it once was. And so it's just with every project now, I'm the Acolyte kind of for me was the last mark where I was like, all right, you know what? I don't know what is going on with Dave Filoni. I have no idea. Because how could somebody in charge at Lucasfilm allow some abhorrent piece of shit show like that to come out? I really hate the Acolyte. I think it is the most dog shit production and spit on George Lucas's Star Wars that I've ever seen in my life. And I think everybody that was involved with that should be absolutely ashamed of themselves at Lucasfilm and Disney to not even just fund that thing for hundreds of millions of dollars, but to actually let it be produced. I think it is just a complete mockery, and they need to really reevaluate themselves and not give themselves this fucking pat on the back. But glad it's not renewed for a second season, rightfully so. But anyways, with Dave Filoni, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I've got a question for you.
confused.
I've wanted to ask for ages.
Yeah.
Did you play the original Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason, when I was watching the Acolyte and that the girl, the main character, did her like little bob down and pulled out a dagger and was like, hit me with your best attack, I thought this would only work in a 90s RPG, with text boxes and her saying that kind of like over the top stuff. It would work only in that. I would be like, that's so normal for the over top like Japanese sensibility and writings. Live action, I was just
Oh, dude, yeah, I've made so many videos on the Acolyte that I think I probably made more videos on that than anything else, really. Just on how utter shit it was with everything to do with it. And when something gets you passionately angry like that, you just go to no end to just make sure everyone knows how unbelievably garbage this was.
Were you excited? to see
rotten to the
Plagueis, either
core.
of you? Because come
No.
on, you guys love Plagueis. No, were you like they're gonna just?
I was
twist him and do
begging that
something
he
horrible?
wouldn't show up. I was
No.
like, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. And I knew
Well-
I knew it was coming.
You remember the days where we thought the Acolyte show was going to be about Plagueis and Palpatine?
Yeah, I do, man.
And then we thought it was going to be about Darth Zana and Bane.
Ooh.
It just doesn't
And it was-
understand. And the people that made it, they just come off as like really angry people. And their show's terrible.
Well, anybody who says if you X then equals Y, they lost the plot, man. So if you dislike the Acolyte, then you're a racist and sexist. I mean, you already lost that argument because you haven't really actually given an opinion or a reason as to why this person dislikes it beyond just some bullshit excuse to. It's like a very low IQ answer, I think.
No, it's absolutely a low IQ answer. And if you come here, it's nothing but reasons to dislike the show. And none of them are based on, sexism or racism or anything. I think the thing that is fascinating is the dialogue around Skeleton Crew, because everybody on both sides of the fandom are pretty much like, you know what? Not bad,
Yeah.
And just to see everyone on Twitter doing flips because, people aren't upset and like, wow, I can't believe Star Wars fans actually didn't, go crazy. It's like, yeah, because the majority of them are normal people. It's not a reflection of like the people in a lot of senses. It's a reflection of your product.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, these sick-headed people do not understand. They think that if you don't like it, then there must be something wrong with you. And it's like, well, no, not for the most part, unless you are an actual like racist or a sexist or whatever. You just want a good story. And if you don't like something, I mean, and you give reasons for it, and that should be enough. But it's not enough for these people. You can't. There's no logic for them. It's just, no, oh my god. Like, okay, clearly you're sick in the head. So have fun.
And
with
we play on a different, field than most people. You especially, where it's like your opinion, people like view it only as an attack. There's not like, oh, he's a guy who is sharing his opinion on Star Wars, a franchise that he cares about. It's like strictly viewed as a purely malicious attack when it couldn't be farther from that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I've become a product of my own image. I've become literally a product of like, it's no longer me. It's now Star Wars Theory. It's like it's really bizarre. It's like I started out the channel with like just making fan fictions and giving my thoughts on Star Wars, and it was like you're the underdog, and then now it's like fuck him. Like it's like what? Like I'm the same guy. I just have more of a following count, and it's years later, and maybe some silver hair now. Like I don't know. It's so strange the way people like put you on this pedestal, and it's like you have to think the way they think. You have to like it, or else you're this, or you have to hate it, or else you're this. It's like, nah, man. We're all individuals. We all have different opinions, and that's it.
And it's fine. Don't be a dick. Share your opinion. Be kind. Be respectful.
Yeah, well, it's when you fall into the categorization. I think that's when people have really lost the plot of like, okay, like, oh, you like Nike shoes, that means you're this, that, and the other. It's like, oh, you like Adidas, well, then I'm gonna categorize you in that. That means you're this, that, and the other thing too. It's like, nah, man, maybe fuck, my grandpa just really wore Nikes, and I like Nikes, or maybe it's just, hey, I like the way the shoe's designed, or it's not that deep. I don't know. People seem, especially Western part of the world, they seem to take it so like political.
Dude, I had a really similar thought to that today, which was, and this is pretty personal, but you brought up like grandparents, but I think it makes sense. My grandpa, he was a Marine, the smartest man that I ever knew, the kindest man that I ever knew. And he had a stroke. And after his stroke, when he would go to the grocery store, he couldn't drive anymore. So he would take the cart back to, his apartment. You're not supposed to do that, but he had a stroke. And a lot of people on the road and neighbors were just so mean because he just had this, he was pushing this cart down the street and they thought that it was abnormal or that he was just a strange elderly homeless man, when that man, it was brilliant and kind
and fought for the country
and fought for my country. Oh man, I almost lost it on Twitter when someone said something about the country and Star Wars. Anyway, back on this. I almost lost it because like all my generations are military. From like the last 4 generations are all military, and not all of them made it back. So it's like you're gonna
same with mine, but just not North American. It's like
totally. Well, we all fought for the same shit.
It just depends where you pop out.
But it's like
Sadly.
when you take that and you know, my grandpa saw Agent Orange and he got sick. Anyway, long story short, don't make assumptions. Don't be that guy. So.
Well, I think I can speak to that. Maybe this is some dime store psychology, but what if I was to tell you two, fine gentlemen, that I think that Darth Plagueis novel is a pile of trash?
Dude, I would think that is about to lead into the best discussion ever.
Yeah.
No, you don't care what I think because you know that it resonates with you. So why does somebody get offended if I say, I don't know, Skeleton Crew, even though I like it, is trash? Why did they react? Well, I start to go down the rabbit hole, and one of the things I heard was that people, they will do anything to remain kind of congruent with their self-image. And so what you and Theory and myself have all gone through is that when you say you don't like Star Wars anymore, you know, the new stuff, whatever, when I tried to step away from it, it's not just stepping away. There's a part of you, like you almost feel like you're like you're splitting in two. I think the people on the other side, if they're not being disingenuous, can't admit that whatever they're defending, it's too confrontational to say, oh, the Acolyte is the wackolite. So then they get super mad at Theory and externalize it versus going like, you know, because if I love the Acolyte and Theory made 100 videos about it, would I care? No. So why are they? There's also the flip side of this is that the bigger the opinion, the bigger the thing Star Wars Theory says. If I chose to say the opposite, which I should do, I should start Dashar 2.0 and just have the opposite opinion to Theory, because I would cultivate an audience from just that. Because maybe 5% of people that watch your videos say I hate Theory, then they go to me. I get 5% of your audience easily. So it's a cheap way.
That's been done time and time. That's been, I mean, it's almost nearing 9 years I've been on YouTube, and it's like I've seen that every month, dude. You know, it's low-hanging fruit.
But it also pairs beautifully with Disney's self-interest or any corporation, because when they remade Total Recall and Colin Farrell was starring, you couldn't be like, people didn't like it because they're racist against an Irishman, right? I guess they could. But there's not really a market that will be like, yeah. But if you do have a diverse cast and people say they hate it, and then you have those people hating on Theory and calling him a racist, that really benefits Disney marketing wise, because then their Rotten Tomatoes score doesn't look real, because they can just point to one comment and say, look, some random YouTuber said this, they attach it to Theory's name just for clicks, and then suddenly Disney doesn't look like it's losing. You know what I mean? Like, it makes the companies look better to have people that will I don't want to say shit. I'm trying to not use these.
They have a scapegoat
these
in
words.
in that scenario, and then illegitimize, something in their favor if they need to. Be like, oh, this large YouTuber who has brainwashed his audience has gone to bot report or bot downvote this thing and has forced his audience to do this, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, none of the reviews actually count. Easy. Nice.
Beautiful. And they went out in the end. They're just like, oh, well, it's not us. But instead of like, it's like the YouTubers just trying to get an audience or get famous or do whatever, instead of just focusing on stories that they want to tell, like you two guys. And I said to Stupendous before we started, isn't it strange? Not just Star Wars, but all of these franchises, like, I'm covering Diablo, like KOTOR remake gets canceled, whatever. But all of these franchises, really, if you look at the overall views compared to like say 10 years ago, where people were so hyped and they just wanted to talk about the next product, there is no next product or thing or show or media people want to talk about. And so the biggest viewed videos, and I'm not trying to be like businessy, but I'm saying the biggest viewed videos are the ones critiquing the mistakes of these big companies for a reason, because people are tired of it. Otherwise, the inverse would be true, and nobody would look at the critique. They'll be like, "You're an idiot," hate on this all you want, but clearly 98% of people love it. But it's not true, and so we're in a funk right now.
Yeah, dude.
I actually love these. This is a great dynamic. What do you think, chat?
Dash is sweating too much. It's 100 degrees. That's like 40 degrees in
He's in Australia, bro.
Yeah,
Mike, he's in Australia.
Mad Max territory. I step outside, it'll be the Thunderdome.
I'm sweating too. I'm having cinnamon gum and like wearing this big sweater and drinking hot tea, dude.
Cinnamon gum and hot tea? We are different people.
I know.
Well, I'm cold.
It's cold out here, man. It's like, I think it's what, it was 2 degrees last night, or 1 degree.
What? 2 degrees
Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah, my brain was just trying to convert, going error, like thinking of like Antarctica, the thing. Where are you at the moment, Theory, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada. I'm at home.
Oh, last stream I saw you guys talking about like moving to America, and I was like, what?
Well, yeah, I'd love to have a second home in America. I just can't really settle on a place yet. I kind of want them all. I want the nice ass pad in Miami one day, but I want to be away from everybody and live in Montana or something, and just have like a giant 10-acre piece of land, and have horses. And so I don't know. Right now, all my money is literally tied up in Theory Sabers and in the fan film. And the kind of
can I say something to that? And please tell me the truth. You don't have to tell me, but
yeah,
I think it was like 2019. I messaged you and I said, no, 2018, when all this went pear-shaped and I was floating for a year. I was playing Jedi Academy for a year on the channel, and Red Dead Redemption, which people didn't appreciate, obviously stupid. But anyway, and I said to you, these Kyber, I saw that. It was really cool. I love those games. Kyberlight hit me up and they were like, do you want to promote our sabers? And I really like their sabers. I said, okay. And I think I said to you, hey, have you ever thought of creating your own saber company? Because this is the type of dude Theory is compared to me. Is I'm like a why not person. I've always say to myself, I put up barriers like I shouldn't be the guy that gets to do that. And then you were like, yeah, I might do that. And then I see like this huge Theory saber thing, monumental, where you just pulled the trigger. You even said it to me the other week when I was like, how do you do this and that? And you're like, I just do it. And I thought, man, who am I asking permission to? But anyway, were you already making those Theory sabers and you just didn't want to spoil it already, or did you just go, I'll make a saber company and it's gonna be dope?
That's a long question, dude. I mean, I'm gonna be transparent as fuck with it, because why not? So I was the first job, everyone wanted to be an astronaut and this and that. My first job I ever wanted when I was a kid was to make lightsabers for Lucasfilm. My parents put me in this computer school when I was about 6 years old, and I was like fell in love with Photoshop, and I was like, I want to do this with CGI. So anyways, fast forward, once I opened up the channel, these NeoPixel sabers started coming out in the market. The technology got much better, and it was better than all the stuff I had as a kid. And I was reviewing them. Man, I spent like over 10 grand on other companies' sabers. Ones I didn't even review. I just like would buy them just to like collect them. And so we were making money on YouTube, man. I would just spend my money, and I didn't ask for handouts. I didn't ask for free sabers, because I wanted to give an authentic review and never be like, oh, this is amazing, buy this and discount code, blah blah. And so the audience kept saying, why don't you make your sabers? Why don't you make your sabers? Why don't you make your sabers? And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm busy with the channel. I don't want to just be like a reseller, because like I knew a lot, and now I know just almost too much about the saber community and all the company. I know so much. Anyways, I didn't want to do that. And then so I really I announced in 2020 that I wanted to create my own company called Theory Sabers. And of course, I never should have announced it publicly, but it is what it is. That was my mistake. And so I took about 4 years to research different companies, with no rush, no I got to do this fast. So I researched different manufacturing companies because at the end of the day, all these companies get their sabers from different. There's only a few different manufacturing companies that make, I would say, top level quality, and they all come from overseas for the most part. So I'm like, okay, what are my options here? Either I start a machine shop, which is going to cost me like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then I hire people to make them, and then I'm going to be like, some of the other companies that I purchased from that take like 9 freaking months to deliver one saber, and they're backed up for years and years on end, and the product is nothing special at an exorbitant price. So finally, I researched a bunch of different ones, and I found TXQ, and I was like, look, I don't want to just resell shit. I want to actually make a brand out of this. Like, I want it from everything, from the box to the thickness of the shipping box to I want to have a hand in literally everything with this saber, plus make my exclusive designs as well, where the company can make shit too, down to like the chassis and like how it's put in. And so finally, that took me 4 years. I could have probably done it faster, but I wasn't in a rush, and I landed on TXQ. And then I was like, all right, you know what? This is a great partnership, and we now have a whole actual team there that just specified for us. So it's like we have our own warehouse out in China, but it saves us so much money, which then goes into the product, where we don't have to charge a higher price for each product because they're taking care of it over there, and they handle all of our stuff, and we can make the best stuff that we possibly can and constantly improve. And it's something that I'm proud of because, well, being the biggest Star Wars YouTuber, I know people are going to be looking at me for anything to be like, oh, this guy his sabers are shit, or he's just reselling this and that. So it's like, I rather take my time like I did, make something I'm really proud of, and leave no stone unturned, and kind of take all the stuff that I took from the companies that I would purchase from and be like, I didn't like that. I didn't like this. Their customer service was shit. This guy's chassis was ass. It was like all powdery and like weird. This guy, I didn't like the way it twisted off. I didn't like the way the sound came out of this one, and just kind of formulate my own thing. And then I found that with a company that was really willing to answer every single beck and call that I wanted, because I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to my stuff, and so I'm happy, dude. So it took me a while, but no, it was never like a rushed kind of thing. Like when you asked me back in 2019, I really wanted to take my time with it. So loaded question, but that's the answer.
Ray, look, you've just given me my first video to clap back at you.
There you go.
Theory's sweatshop exposed. It'll be me in China with my hands out like this.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna fly out to China and go see everyone and go see the factory and all that stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really cool vlog. I'm gonna take the team out there too. You guys let me know if you want to come. That'd be cool.
That would be kind of nuts.
Dude, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, especially Dash. Why are you walking over there the side and you're doing a vlog style video?
Dude, that would be hilarious. All of us just like the whole just days and days of vlogs in China. Why not?
I've never been to China.
Me neither. I mean, I've seen our assembly line and our factory and everything, and it's great. But I've never actually
beyond that.
It's a long ways away. But I'd love to.
That's such a cool idea. Have you ever woken up at like 1 a.m. and like, God damn, I can't sleep? And you're like, imagine it'd be so cool if you had like a security feed of just like all of these lightsabers going past, like automated droids building them for you. Like, oh yeah, that'd be such a cool weird. Like somebody could be working on your sabers right now as we're just chatting.
They are, yeah. No, I sleep around 6 a.m. because by the time I go to bed, I have a customer service team in the States, which are some of my best friends. And then I have a web team, and they're in Europe. And then I have the manufacturers in China, and literally the head of the manager of TXQ is my guy. He's like, we have a whole team literally just for us. And so he sends me updates every single day, like all the time. And we're always in correspondence. We're always doing quality checks on every single product before it ships out. Because I don't want to just, you see these YouTubers and they kind of just slap their name on something. It's kind of like Star Wars today. You just slap Star Wars on something and it's like, well, that's not really Star Wars. That's not really a good product. So with YouTubers, it's cool that you have a big following and you can make for sure a lot of money if you just sell a product. But what we want to do is we want to sell a product time and time and time again. And the only way to do that is to get repeat customers. And how do you get repeat customers? Your product can't be shit. It has to be good. And so if it is good, then you'll last for a long time. And we want to be in the game we want to be number one. We want to offer the best at the best price and with the most in there. And I think that we're already doing that. So I'm going to keep going with it.
That's why you are. Like, you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's just luck, or, you know, this dude's just charismatic, or right time, right place for both of you.
Maybe.
But it's the work. No, well, I mean, yeah, look, to start back then was so much easier. But what I found is your story is so similar that you guys are like, you know, at the tippy top is that you worked so freaking hard, singularly. Like,
we all did.
Sickeningly.
You did too.
Yeah, you worked
man.
hard, dude.
You were, you know, and not to make this podcast like a glazing session of each other, but you really did. And I think you both really paved the way for me and a lot of people.
Which is funny. So something that happens if you start a YouTube channel is you always kind of pay deference to the people before you, even though, you know, you put in as much work as them or whatever, but then the new wave comes through and you're just like, oh, these guys are just doing, you know, X, Y, Z. But you always, because obviously you can't beat the past. Like, I think about, who did you watch when you first started? I think I was Hello Greedo was around when we were doing it. He still is. Like Grey Jedi, I think, or like
the
EU guys.
I remember that. I remember
Anton Bandele, Evan Nova, Jen Sarai.
Wow, Jen Sarai. Wow.
Jen Sarai 1 he's extremely well researched. I freaking love his videos.
Weren't the Jen Sari or Jen Sarai, however you pronounce it, weren't they a clandestine group from the book I, Jedi that like they had their own rules? They weren't really Sith, but they were just their own little clan of Force users. Like, what an obscure reference.
Yeah, one of the Jedi from the Order at the time went into like the archives and found a holocron that contained a Sith lie that essentially alluded to the fact that the Jedi had stemmed from the Sith, and that the Sith were, you know, the Jedi were built on top of lie. So he left the Jedi Order and built his own sort of order and called it the Jen Sarai, and attempted to integrate teachings of the Sith into it and like make it a gray Jedi Order. But he just ended up corrupting it, because when you introduce the dark side, it corrupts. But yeah, Luke actually met their order in Legends. So it's a good story. But yeah, no, that's a pretty deep cut of lore for him. I only know about that because of his name. It's like,
right. And I'm named Dash after Dash Render. That's because I had a toy of him as a kid. And when I played Jedi Academy for the first time and I walked into a role-playing server by accident, your name's Padawan when you join servers, and they go, you can't have the name Padawan. What's your name? And I was like, Dash. It's like, hey, it's stuck.
Yeah. I just put my name into a superhero name generator in like 2014.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's how I got my name.
What about just Marvelous Wave was because of Marvel and you just went on and just make it easy for people?
Yeah, exactly. And then,
how do you feel about being called Theory or Stupendous?
Oh, it's kind of funny. I don't know. I never really thought people would come up with it. I remember the first time someone called me Theory in like a one of the first whatchamacallits meetups I did. I mean, I had seen it online, but then people call me Theory in person. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then now it's literally like a second name to me. It's very strange.
Yeah, ubiquitous. Yeah. And you feel, it feels almost sometimes more natural than your real name because
it does.
You made it yourself. It's a weird attachment.
It's
and the
really
thing is,
weird.
Like, my parents, you know, if they'll be like, hey, Dash or something, I'll be like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. You know, you go out in public and people call you Theory or someone. I remember I was driving the other day and someone was like literally screaming out the window, like, Theory! And I was like, fuck, like right away, like more so than if someone called my name, like my birth name. It was interesting. So these kind of like these nicknames or internet names is like, you know, what you give yourself. It's like a Darth title. It's cool.
My friend, my best friend in the whole world, we talked about him a few weeks ago, 4th subscriber ever. So he's only ever known me as like Stupendous Wave. He calls me Stoops, and like It's perfect. I
like
love it.
Superman. He's
Yeah,
a Jimmy
like-
Olsen.
Yeah, Stoops. I like it. But yeah, it feels way more natural than my real name, which is Ethan. So I
Literally
prefer
talking to
Stoops.
TXQ right now. As you-
Oh,
as I was looking at-
you're like,
yeah,
how's it
literally.
doing? How's the
Literally,
factory doing?
yeah, literally, he just sent me like an update on a new design, and I was just like, okay, let's change this, let's do that, and yeah, it's around the clock, man. It's nonstop.
Send a message to China.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun vlog.
I think I've derailed this whole thing. We
This
we're
is
meant
what
to
it's
talk
about. Dude. What do you mean?
Skeleton Crew.
We
though,
did.
and,
We
like,
talked about Skeleton Crew.
Oh, there's no
it's fun,
structure.
that's it. Yeah.
It's just
I'm going to be
chat.
like my face plastered on some article. It's like theories shit kicker Australian friend who should have stayed away from YouTube just called little whatever her character's name is with visor little Asian girl with coat or visor. I'll be like, oh,
And then I'll get the flack for it. Theory is racist.
yeah, I hope so. So the splash damage goes to you. I'll be like, okay, I'll just keep coming on talking shit.
How it
You'll
works.
get in trouble.
That's how it works, man. You guys want to say anything, you just come here, and then I'll take the damage. It's all right. No big deal. So, you think you're going to create a whole new, like Dash 2.0, or are you just going to do it on Dark Lore Dash? Everything?
No, Dark Lord Dash is just RPG lore, and I want to separate it. As you guys know, the enemy at the enemy's time. I'm going to New Zealand to see my brother, my family in 9 days, and I've been working, and I've got a young son. He's 14 months old, named Jet. Yes, my wife was like, this is our kids' names, and I was like Jet Lucas. She's like, who? And I'm like, we'll call him Jet. It's a Star Wars reference without a Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
I look after him. I do my dad duties or whatever at night, put him to bed. But when I go to bed, like I still work to midnight at the moment, just because I've got so much to do and I love it. But so like I'm trying to figure out how, and I guess I'll talk to you guys about it. Like I might have to start looking at getting help. I don't know how, because you obviously don't want to dilute your content. It's really, really hard. And I know such a whinge to people, a guy working in a factory, putting boxes up and lifting them up and down. I've done those jobs all day saying, oh, the YouTuber says it's hard to let someone else make videos with him. But it is hard to find people that are as passionate. They'll never be as passionate as you, but
No.
I think I might look at getting some help on Dark Lore so that I can get Dash 2.0 up, because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm thinking like, I've seen these new AI channels. I don't love AI, but I love how effective the tools can be at, making the content, because a lot of it just feels dehumanized, and obviously the human element's my favorite. But if I can incorporate them, and I've seen actually you've got great AI content on your channel through your mate Theory, but yeah, something like that. Isn't it the Luke? I saw Luke and he was storytelling from his perspective. Am I thinking about the wrong channel? No.
No, yeah, you're thinking about a different channel. That's Skywalker Stories.
No, I've seen him though. I thought that you had like another guy featured on your channel. Anyway, I don't.
Crossroads. He does some of the, like we were doing Dark Empire.
Yes,
But
Dark Empire. That's it.
Those are actual models that we're using with we do deep fake on the faces, and then with the voice, we don't just type it in. We literally voice all of the lines, and then we change the voice. That's the AI that we use. We change the voice with our.
But that's why your sound's so good, though. And so something like that. That level is what I need to get at, not just the stories one. Like the guy, to his credit, is getting dialogue that most people won't hear, which is important to, I think, us three, that people get more exposure to the EU. Yeah, please.
Let me show you something. The latest thing I have from that, which is just a very quick little clip, which is not totally done yet, but exclusive, guys. We've taken a long time with it because there's some new stuff that he's doing, and I think it looks pretty good. So hold on here.
Yeah, so I think that between creating the dark Star Wars stories, and making my critique of your videos, I think I'll have my, my schedule, my plate full.
Yeah, you'll be busy.
Oh my gosh, I love Luke.
Yeah. This is a little. That's when he's bringing down the AT-AT.
God, that looks good.
It looks good, right?
Disney should hire you and be like, hey, we want to put that face thing over Hamill.
They could do it themselves. They know how to do it.
They don't want to, clearly.
They got money.
Oh man. Oh, what's Scandrel's Cantina was in the chat. What up? I love your channel.
I saw that. Yeah.
OG. I still remember him having a picture. Isn't it weird? I remember thumbnails, and it was like a cross lightsaber, and it was like the most, weirdest lightsabers of all time. Isn't it weird that that's how my memory like attaches to people?
No.
No, that's exactly
when you
what
don't have a
memory does,
face.
Dash.
Yeah, when you don't have a face, it's like, yeah. Oh, that guy made that thumbnail once. Yeah, totally.
I want to answer this one really quick. Blind Boy Gaming about his Saber. Just don't want to leave him hanging. Theory, I ordered a Saber bundle in the Order 66 sale last month, and all support keeps telling me is it's a shipping process issue and to wait. I'm getting impatient. It'll be a month since ordering next Friday. That's an anomaly for you and maybe a few other people. But the thing with it's on the way for sure. And I'm sorry that it's taking so long, but the shipping companies are unbelievably backed up. November had sales for like every company in the world. They had all these Black Friday sales, including us. So everything is just like they're slammed. And so we're just kind of at the behest of these. Every shipping, DHL, FedEx, every shipping company is just they're just all like, I mean, Canada Post is on strike for one, but that's Canada. So it's on the way. Don't worry about it. Keep on support, man. We have a list of everybody we need to get back to in case anything. So if your order is taking too long or whatever, we are in conversations with the shipping companies to make sure that they're getting it out. And it really just we're getting the same answer they're giving you guys when you call them. Be like, oh yeah, we're backed up. Like, so it's going out, but it's just November and December is just such an insane time that it's taken them a while. But a lot of people have gotten their Sabers, which is good. But I know that's not good for you. But sometimes some of them get backed up. But it's on the way. 100% it's on the way, man.
And thank you for the donation also, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Of course. Rossi.
I love Rossi. Rossi's the GOAT.
Oh, happy birthday, Josh.
Josh.
Happy birthday.
Palpatine came back. Wouldn't Annie too? No. Negative.
Can you imagine?
I mean, I wish he was in The Rise of Skywalker, but ugh.
No, I mean, hooked up to wires and stuff. But I just had a flash in my head of like young Anakin being like, this isn't wizard, just puppeteered.
This isn't the immortality I was. No, hold on. Thanks to your BOGO sale, I was able to order my two nephews a pair of sabers. We dueled with my Theory sabers on Thanksgiving. I uploaded on YouTube. Right on, B-Man. I'm glad you got yours, and thank you so much for the order. I'm glad you guys had fun. Made some good memories. We've got the Roger Christian saber dropping next week, everybody. I'm going to announce more about that, which is very, very surreal for me. Probably like a highlight of my life, to be honest.
Yeah. No. I was telling my friends about that, and they were like, holy shit, no way. It was like, yeah. He did
that's never would have thought. The creator of the lightsaber collaborating with me, and it's cool. Skywalker Stories on YouTube. He does a really good AI. What if philosophical interactions in the Clone Wars style between characters, like he did Luke talking to Revan? Yeah, Dash, have you seen this?
I have. I feel like the technology isn't there on the emotion side. So information-wise, I love that there is the interactivity between characters. And again, like dry stuff that people will never do, like read the books or something, brought to life. It's not like, Theory used to do a lot of those videos, and obviously Stupendous still. Yeah. So having the technology there, but I just don't, it's just not quite like I have to do something to make it, different. But I do respect, like it's the newness, and there's clearly an audience that is hungry for new Star Wars stories. Isn't it weird though?
Yeah. I actually, me and him were going to work together, and he was kind of nervous to make it free. Said it was like too low quality for my channel. And I'm like, it's okay, man. Like there will be some people that will still enjoy it. I mean, people enjoyed the fan fictions that I used to make, and it was literally just still images and stuff from like the movies. It wasn't anything new. And he's like, let me try to advance the technology a little bit on what I can do, and then I'll
Oh
get back.
yeah,
All right, sure.
3 to 5 years they'll beat the studios. Like I'm not sleeping on it. I'm just saying like this is going to
I'm
snowball. It's
nervous.
happening.
I'm nervous. I don't even know what it's going to look like. Like, I don't know what.
Dude, it's crazy. It's going to be insane. We'll probably be able to make like full-on movies just by
I had
typing
that
stuff
thought.
in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. Like, type into an AI, make a gladiatorial arena, and have, a giant dragon fight a Jedi, and have it be like the most badass thing ever.
Dude, you could probably type in something and be like, make a 30-minute episode adapting the Darth Plagueis novel. I don't know of any random chapter. Like I don't know, remake the sequel trilogy, but it doesn't suck. Like it could probably do that.
What are the laws going to
Really
be?
easily.
They're going to have to be.
Well, you just probably can't sell it, I guess. But that's also true. It's like, what are the laws? What are they? What can they do about it? It'd be great for YouTubers because we could just literally react to it. But I don't know, for studios and stuff like that, they're gonna have to step their shit up. No, they're just gonna have to make good movies like they used to make. Competition breeds a better product, always. I truly believe that. People get, companies get very comfortable kind of doing the bare minimum and making a maximum profit because there's no one like on their ass making a better product. And it really does push the product to a higher level because customers start to realize, they're like, well, why is this company offering this, making a better movie, and Hollywood isn't anymore? And that's why I truly believe that independent filmmakers, independent storytellers, YouTubers, they're all the ones making the movies now, the movies, the comics, all this shit. They're making it better than Hollywood.
Do you honestly, because I think that we've gone from Star Wars has kind of not hit the marks it should have over the time, Disney's had it, to now people are critiquing it, going which is really important to break down the elements of why it doesn't work so that they don't retread it, but they seem to want to retread it over and over, and it's getting to a silly amount of time where it's very stale. Do you believe that it's now, because in my head when we spoke the other day and I told you I wanted to do Star Wars Dark and you were like, just do it. Do you think this is going to be the next wave? Like it's like the Thanos fine, I'll do it myself meme. Like we're all going to have to just start doing it. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I
know this is extremely, well, it's not in my opinion, but I know people who don't like me will take this as like arrogance and cockiness. And I truly believe in my soul that when I do release even just the second episode of the Vader fan film, not just the Star Wars fandom, but the entire world will be kind of open their eyes to what is actually possible for a fan, for one single person helming a project with, of course, a team, but to just see what is actually going to be made. I think it'll really set the mark and kind of open people's eyes and inspire a lot of independent filmmakers that like, look, we can make a lot of cool shit. We don't have to be at the behest of these major corporations that are using hundreds of millions of dollars to make ass. I truly believe. And then once the third one comes out, I think everyone will be a believer. Everybody. And I put my name to it. So time will tell. But I believe, yes, that we are the ones that will be able to make. And, studios could do this too. If they just go back to the way it was, like when Lucasfilm was an independent studio, like when George had it. It was more so about story and less about agendas and politics and a boardroom deciding on this, that, and the other thing. I think, we really need to go back to what it was.
I think that is like I said, universe is sandbox, but just they were at their height with games when they were just in the licensing game of we'll give you the IPs, like stay in the parameters that we give you, and just do, like I know a guy that worked at Ravensoft and he said to me, your favorite character model in Jedi outcast in academy was the Jedi trainer. I said, yeah, it felt like they put more time into creating him. And he goes, he was meant to be Desan, the dinosaur bad guy's apprentice originally, but Lucasfilm, LucasArts came in and said, oh, we want a female. And they made Tavion, which turned out to be better. I love her. But like, that's where they need to be at, where they just kind of set a parameter and go and give it to other visionary, what is it, Star Wars Visions? They just give it to other companies and just let them tell the stories. Because the EU, even if you think it's 95% trash, the fact that they made 100 pieces, 100 products, but 5 were just creme de la creme, who cares? Like, I don't know. I'm same boat. I think
I
just
agree.
license it out.
I totally agree. When you start outsourcing stuff and you stop just kind of holding it to this is all it's just me. When you start you're branching it out to like, other companies that can handle things, then creativity and it just really everything starts to really the flavor just gets in there.
Has that ever happened at like a gigantic scale company like that, like a filmmaking company before, where you just decide to outsource into a bunch of products instead of just like 4 movies a year? Is there like an example?
What EA is doing?
Yeah.
With the game.
EA is crazy though, because, Theory's been in contact with them and stuff. They do the opposite, or instead of like licensing out, they actually consume like an amoeba, getting bigger, and then they destroy it. They like milk it to turn it into micro transaction and then shit it out. They really do. Like every one of your favorite studios is just look at BioWare. Baldur's Gate 1 was their first RPG. Most people hadn't worked on a game. It was too new. And then you look at like what they've just come out with, and you're just like, was it Dragon Age, Valguard? You're like, oh my, stop buying shit, EA. Just stop.
Yeah. No, that was funny the way you put that. Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. But that's the problem. Is you get these companies that they just want to turn a profit. And so when I make the argument, it's like Everlast. Like I believe they used to make the best boxing stuff, but then they got to a point where they just started to make so much money and they got so popular because they built off a passion and made good products, and they were known as kind of like a standard at one point in like the 70s or 80s. And then they started cutting costs. Like, hey, how can we make more profits so we can expand? And so they want to expand and expand and expand. So they cut profits. They cut costs. So they increase their profits, but then the product gets shittier. And so it's the same with all these companies like EA. They're worth what, like 40 like how many billions of dollars they're worth. But now it's all about making more and more and more. It's no more about like, okay, you know what? We'll make 1 billion, but we'll make a freaking amazing story or amazing product.
Yeah.
It's more so about like, let's just keep cutting the costs. Let's just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, well, you're diluting yourself.
That's I don't know why the Acolyte would just be so expensive then, because it's just a gigantic vanity problem. Because that budget is just, ludicrous. Dash, are you aware of how much the Acolyte cost?
Yeah, it was like a couple $100 million, wasn't it? Something ridiculous.
It was damn near $250 million, maybe more.
Yeah.
Which is like that's unprecedented. That's unparalleled, pretty much. And for what we got, it was. I don't think money is the issue. It's just the time and the passion, and it's the love. And I think that what you guys are saying, they would really benefit by really focusing on getting one product right before dropping, 7 on us.
Did you guys ever, Dash, you and I, well, actually, I guess I'm in the middle of both of your ages. Essentially, like right smack dab in the middle.
27.
Yeah. Did you ever, Dash, like in elementary school, they put that like rainbow, massive parachute over like the entire class in the gymnasium class, and then you like have to play, I think it was called like telephone or banana phone or something like that. You start with like one sentence or one word and you whisper it to each neighbor, and you all sit around in a circle, and then by the time it gets back to you, it's something completely fucking different. And I think
They called it Chinese whispers. That'll get me cancelled when I was a kid. And just imagine, they really did. Imagine, which is horrible when you think like they were like Chinese people warp words. Why would they? But imagine that scenario without like a big, nice rainbow blanket, just out in a dust bowl in the middle of like Mad Max. That's what happened. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Australia. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I think that's the same problem with studios today. It's like you just got too many cooks in the kitchen. You got too many people whispering, and the director or whatever, the story writer comes up with a concept like, hey, I think this would be a great story, and be like, oh, I think that's a great idea. Well, what if we do this? And then some other guy chimes in, what if we do that? And what if we change this? No, that's a really great idea. Some dude from freaking left field over there. Well, what if we add this and that? And what if we make them a girl? What if we do? And it just turns into this like complete different story. And then the story writer sitting there being like, okay, but we'll give you $150 million for this project. Okay. It's not really my project anymore, but yeah, sure. Great.
Are you talking about Kenobi? Isn't that what happened with Kenobi? It was like all set and good, and it was just sexy.
Everything. He literally described the High Republic board perfectly just there. It literally. Have you seen the High Republic board, Dash? Where at Lucasfilm they set up these two massive whiteboards.
Oh yes, yes.
And apparently it was just everybody shouting in the room things that they wanted to see in Star Wars, from like, does Star Wars need war? Or like, let's have dinosaurs. Just
diversity.
Did somebody say lack of diversity just to throw it like a?
Like, oh no, dude! They'd be drugged out
San
of that
Francisco.
room instantly.
I know. Yeah, literally. Like,
I want to see one alien cloned. I just want clones.
Yeah.
So, but with George, it was just one idea, and it wasn't about check boxes. It's just about story, and I'd love to go back to that someday. Would be nice.
To speak to that though, and to critique George, if I know he's the Lord and Savior of the Star Wars universe, he did have his weaknesses, but he was more in tune with that. When Clone War, Attack of the Clones came out, and he realized, hey, I'm not as strong, as dialogue, and then he pulled it in, and we got a good episode 3. I think it was so much stronger. Or even the editing of A New Hope, supposedly, you guys know all the stories, but he was smart enough, and I guess because he had the reins to go, ooh, he reacted to the feedback, and then when you might love half of this in 10 years, it may be too ahead, but also I may need to shift. Well, I feel like Disney's like this sponge. They just get hit with feedback, and Kathleen Kennedy's like, you're wrong, you're evil, get out of here. Don't listen to the audience. Like, she's just weathering these body blows, and they're like dumbfounded that they get feedback at all. That isn't just like a standing ovation.
Yeah, technically speaking, the prequels get way better as the films go on, and the dialogue gets better. And they just look better. I fully believe that if Lucas had been able to make the sequel trilogy with what he had learned from the originals and then the prequels, it would have been something extremely special, because he really just ate up the criticism like a boss and just got better.
Yeah.
Had to take its toll. But having said that, I was one of those people who was like, I don't care if Attack of the Clones one movie doesn't land, because every author and every person that touches it outside of that, like, okay, here's an example. In Jedi Outcast, when it first came out, they put in a secret code. You could put in the Destroyer into console and get a double-bladed lightsaber because of Phantom Menace, or 2 lightsabers in Jedi Academy, probably inspired by Attack of the Clones with Anakin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you don't like that, there are 100 pieces of media that spawn because of what George is expanding the universe for people to play in later. And because Disney's cut off the legs of the EU, it's kind of like we don't even get that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's the decision that confuses me the most, is like, why cut off those legs? Because they are such a strong, firm foundation that, I mean, look at my channel and look at what yours was. It's entirely EU essentially. And it's just petty denying that it even exists.
Did you read this?
I have an idea for a sketch to make. Vader insists on being called master because the Jedi wouldn't give him the rank. You'd adapt to biggest. Okay.
Biggest dickest sketch from Monty Python, and giving a general the role of the guy with the lisp, insisting on the Master Vader title.
That would be awesome.
First of all, thank you, Machete Order, for the biggest super chat of the night. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, that would be that'd be
What is the
entertaining for sure.
biggest dick is? I'm a child.
Big super chat from Bo. He says, I want to upgrade the Lotus with the Profi board, but I'm worried about twisting the blade into the hilt. That design won't let you get to the set screws without unscrewing the emitter, but that will twist the blade base against the contact pins. No, there's a way to do it. Yeah, I can show you in a video, or one of the boys in support can show you in a video. I don't know if you've emailed them yet, but yeah, no, there's a way to do it, man. No problemo. You can upgrade any board you like. This guy always drives me. Piatti Diddy. Any plans for decal grade Theory Saber stickers? The one I stuck on my truck that came with my Maul Slayer is already fading. I want to represent. Okay, I can send you something. I can offer something on the site. Maybe something a little more yeah, for cars. That'd be cool. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for representing. Appreciate it. Off subject, I wanted to say thanks for all you do for St. Jude. My son has been patient since 6 weeks old in 2020. He has aplastic anemia. Oh, I wish the best for your son. And yeah, Children's Hospital saved my life as a kid. So the little donations that charities and fundraisers we hold is the least we could do. And we're happy that to date we've raised, I don't know, I think it's like over $80,000, which is nice. But we should do more. We should get we should do another stream, maybe getting closer to Christmas, where we have like a whole bunch of big YouTubers in there. The three of us, Critical Drinker, Mauler, Ryan, or whoever else. A whole bunch of people, Nerdrotic. Fuck anybody, man. Anybody that wants to come in for a good cause. If it raises money for kids, yeah, why not? Hey, Theory, am I the only one experiencing delays? I ordered November 15th and it hasn't shipped out December 5 to 3 weeks. I've talked to DHL and Cody. All my info is correct. Excited for Vader 2. Thank you. Yeah, Byron, just like I mentioned, those shipping companies, DHL, FedEx, they're all very, very backed up. And typically your Saber gets to you within 5 days, but November is like the Black Friday month. So imagine every single company in the world that's selling something online has a sale, and so they have like astronomical order amounts to fulfill, and so the mail companies are backed up, but it is on the way. Nothing will happen to your order. It's just going to take perhaps a little longer now. We didn't anticipate because we thought the mail companies were going to be on their shit, but every single one of them just backed up. I mean, Canada Post is literally on strike for like the last like a month now almost.
Yeah, it's everybody. It's not just Theory Sabers. It's literally everybody.
Yeah.
So
it's unfortunate because, people are like, well, where's my product? And it's like, I've ordered stuff from online from other companies and it's like, it's still ain't here.
Yeah, dude.
You kind of just got to be like, all right, well, it is what it is. That's the shipping companies for you. But as for us on our end, the product has been packaged. It's ready to go. It's at the shipping depot. It's ready to be shipped out. We're just waiting for their ass to freaking get in gear and literally ship the package. It's frustrating. But it is on the way. And it'll be worth it. Just wanted to say appreciate all three of you guys. I love all Star Wars content. Thanks for what you guys do. Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny.
What up, Timify? Dash, it's you. Oh my gosh, you in theory are my first Star Wars YouTubers. I came to you next wave.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, you got Waves happy. He's like, he found the truth.
It's crazy the amount of like how we've all helped each other in various ways. We're like, oh, someone went to Wave and then they found me, and then someone. And that's something that I noticed very in the beginning, where there were a lot of people that were like very angry if I was getting a lot of views, and I'm like, it just helps you, right? Like it just recommends your content after. So like if I
Rise
made
and
a
I'm sorry,
video,
I
Raises all
didn't know.
if I made a video about Darth Vader, like, you know, that would just, and then you make a video about Darth Vader, it's going to recommend your shit next. And you're going to be discoverable more. So vice versa. But people didn't see that. Skeleton Crew has brought me something I haven't had in a while. Intrigue. Thanks for the stream, guys. Thanks, Sand.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, especially the cliffhanger at the end. I was like, I did not see that come. I thought it was going to be some, pretend to. Am I allowed to spoil it? No, it's a light spoiler. You know, the object that they were trying to get. I didn't think that they were going to get it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was going to, use.
Yeah, me neither.
Why am I trying to stop myself from spoiling at all costs? I'm like, don't say the word the Force. Yeah, amazing. I can't wait for episode 3.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. Do you think he actually has the Force?
He
Or it's
may
just
not.
magnet?
I hope
He
not.
may not.
I hope it's a trick.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
It's more interesting.
Jude Law's really good though. I
Oh,
think.
he's
I
great.
feel like he can carry it as well, and the kids as well. The acting and dynamic. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit! Like this is all coming together.
These kids can act. They really can. They're better than Amandla did in the Acolyte for sure. Like just in this one episode, they can act. I was surprised.
Yeah, they're good.
I was surprised how much I liked them and connected with them.
Just got my bogus saber to love him. Thanks, Tyler. Glad you got him. Never thought I would see you three on the same stream together. This is insane. This collab feels long overdue. The 3 goats of Star Wars YouTube. Watched all of you during the early days. Thanks, man.
That makes you feel so damn good, man.
Do you think the Skeleton Crew is a good show like The Mandalorian, or it's another bait and switch? I don't know, man. Lucasfilm coming back to their roots or not? They got a long ways to go, let me tell you. After the sequel trilogy and after the Acolyte, I'm willing to pardon even, I don't know about pardon, but I'm willing to like move past Mando Season 3, Book of Boba Fett, and maybe even Kenobi. But after the Acolyte, I really took that personally. I think that's it. And then for them to call us racist and sexist because we didn't like it, like, go reevaluate yourself.
Yeah. It was,
Please.
you only took it personally because it was meant personally. It's so freaking obvious if you watch the show that.
Yeah.
It's not like the lead actress then made a song about the fans. That would be like, oh boys.
They tried to make it as obvious as possible, and then they went on Twitter and said, "Hey, by the way, this is for you guys."
Yeah.
Amazing.
Boy.
You know what I find weird, just quickly, in the Skeleton Crew is that they call a rat in the droid a rat, but not everything. Obviously, like you see a snake, I think, in Empire, but like they usually don't. But I was so psyched as somebody who's played the Old Republic, especially PvP, that there was a frog dog, because you got the announcer's voice in your head after playing PvP when you play on the frog dog team. I was like, that's a freaking frog dog.
Yeah, someone watched Star Wars that made Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, that's what and they said criffing. They said criffing, which is the F word in Star Wars. I was like, that's so good.
They said wizard. That's a Mando thing.
Well, that's a Kitster thing.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, wait, that's what you remember wizard from?
That's what I remember it from. I remember it from Mando Season 2.
Yeah, I remember it was a Phantom Menace. There was, and that's
did they say
wizard? And you're like, oh, that hurts the ears.
Oh,
but
is that
so
after the pod race and stuff?
Yeah,
is that what it was? Okay, dude.
That's so wizard, Annie.
Dude, I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't think I've heard that in my whole life. Maybe
no. It's so famous.
You remember Anakin's best friend, right?
Yeah.
Kitster, yeah.
Didn't Vader visit him in the EU and was like, "You don't remember me?" Or so? I can't remember what happened, but I know that there was some crossover. Did he kill him? I hope he did.
I know he killed Watto.
Yeah, he did. I think that in canon he killed Watto.
Can you imagine that? Annie, I just sold your mother. Why you mad? And he's just like, darn.
Splits him in half.
Yeah.
You guys agree with George Lucas that Ahsoka should have died in the Clone Wars? Yes.
I don't know. That's so
Bro, she's not. I don't think she's like cool. We got like more stories to tell or whatever. But no, it doesn't make sense. Why would she be alive when the Empire was around? There is no reason. Like all of these Jedi surviving while Luke is around. Like the whole point is that the Jedi are scarce.
Okay, yeah. I get yeah. I'm just thinking in the context of the new Disney Star Wars, not like in the context of the EU where it wouldn't make sense. I'm just glad that I have Ahsoka still.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's like good and bad. But I think she better stay stuck on that Peridio. She better stay the hell out of the way when oh wait, no, that's after what am I saying? That's after Return of the Jedi. Yeah, no, all of this shit, like I don't know. You know, I really think that like the whole thing about the original trilogy was that there's no Jedi around. And so to have someone as powerful as Ahsoka being around.
Well, that's the worst part about like this whole new era of Star Wars is we're not allowed to think that, you know, the Luke from Legends exists, even though that's what we grew up with. And in our hearts, it turns to that immediately. So it's like, oh, what do you mean Ahsoka's around? Luke's building a new Jedi Order. He's got 50 students and he's the best. And then it's like, oh, right.
We have this, yeah. No, I know. And it's bittersweet because it's like I like Ahsoka, but at the same time, I like Luke and the original trilogy and all that story way more. And I just think that all of this, while it is, you know, continuing the stories of Star Wars, it just kind of cheapens the original trilogy a little bit. Because it's like now you watch it and you're like, okay, Ahsoka was around at this time. Let's say where they bring Mace Windu back. Oh, he's around at this time. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what's?
I think I just came to terms with that like a long time ago, like during Rebels is when I had to come to terms with that, where it's like, oh, Kanan's operating, Ezra's operating. You know, I love Rebels, but I'm gonna have to let that image of the OT sort of dissolve a little bit, and that's the reality of being a fan. Is you kind of have to change with the story somewhat.
I'm going to say something I've never said actually before. That I remember when they announced that they were going to make an animated show of the Clone Wars. I watched the 2D one, and they're going to redo it, kind of in like a 3D almost sort of thing, like they did with the Clone Wars we know. And they were going to give Anakin an apprentice. I was like, he was an apprentice already. Like he's in no place to have an apprentice of his own. What is this? And then they did, and then they, you know, introduced her, and just over time you kind of get. But I remember when it came out, and it's just like you just didn't really take to her. You're like, why does he have an apprentice? This doesn't really fit. And then finally, you're like, all right, you accept her.
Yeah, that's a difference. Like, because when I saw that first Clone Wars movies in theaters, I was like 11, so my image of what Star Wars was still very much still being created.
Yeah.
So I just always accepted, you know, oh, Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan and she's just never mentioned. Obviously, as I got older, I realized that was strange for those characters to not mention certain characters. You know, Ahsoka not being mentioned in Revenge of the Sith is just a pill you have to swallow. But
because
like
she didn't exist.
Right. But like for me, it was easier to like come to terms with that because my image of what Star Wars was still forming.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That micro series was so good. I go back to it, I go, oh my God. But just to you guys who love the EU and you know about of course, you know about the Jedi Praxium and Yavin 4 and just what Luke did. It is bizarre to get Ahsoka, who has grown on us over time in the Clone Wars, like really grown on us, to have such a strange it felt like Disney went, all right, we got to smush these characters together. Like a cardboard cutout on rails just floated up to Luke and said, I am here now to help, and then floated back into the bushes. And you're like, this is the most wooden thing. Why is this happening? Oh, it's just forced.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you really want to read a great adaptation in between 2 and 3, Labyrinth of Evil is your book.
So good.
That's what, you know, if you really want to go like George Lucas's vision, I would read that book. And then if you want to go after, then I would read, and mind you, none of these books were like fully signed off by George, except for the novelization of Revenge of the Sith. and of course episode 1 and 2. But another one that I really like that is Legends is Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader. The Rise of Darth Vader. Then there's another one, Dark Lord or I think it was Darth Vader: The Rise and Fall or something like that. It had a pink cover. Now it does, at least. That one's got really cool stories, and it just like runs through basically like 1 to 6. And there are so many inner monologues in that book with all of the characters, like Obi-Wan, it's pretty fun.
I would also recommend Dark Rendezvous if you want to stay in that Clone Wars era and like really get into like Dooku and Yoda's head. Like that book's great.
Yeah, those books that came out in like the 2005 era, before the animated series, hit different.
Oh, they
really do.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
And just like getting more insight into certain characters. Like the reason I brought up Dark Rendezvous is my favorite moment is where Dooku's trying to tempt Yoda to turn to the dark side. And he's like, tell me anything you want. And with power, I can get it. Like we can manifest it. We can make it happen. And Yoda's just like, all I want is a beautiful rose. And it really pisses Dooku off that Yoda doesn't want anything beyond like a flower. And I just think that's so beautiful.
I'm going to send this. Hold on. I'm going to send this to the manager of TXQ right now. Be like, yo, let's get some dope decals, dude. Let's get some harder decals for cars. Hail all Star Wars theory. Dig in your sabers, man. Star Wars: The Old Republic is my fave, then Fallen Order. Yeah. Fallen Order is a really great game, and a lot of people are like, how could you like Disney Star Wars? It's like, dude, have you played that game? I think it's very fun. I think it's great for the lore. I think it's great for explaining things that happened during Order 66, and it stays true. It kind of feels like it was made during the time of George. There isn't anything in there that screams, except for like the Purge Troopers and shit like that, which didn't exist. But actually, I like the Purge Troopers. I think they're pretty neat. It's just like an upgraded version of a Stormtrooper that's like specifically set to kill Jedi after Order 66.
Yeah, the Purge Troopers are like the last batch of clone troopers, I think. Isn't that right? I always thought that was such a cool addition to the lore where it's like, well, what do we do? Like, oh, we make them dedicated Jedi killers.
Oh, I'm glad you got the Lotus, man, as the free saber. Just got my Order 66 BOGO in. I ordered the Shadow Hunter SNV4 for my nephew, and I got the Lotus RGB. So everybody who got the Shadow Hunter during the BOGO, that's like a bit of a hack because they got 3 sabers. So the Shadow Hunter splits into 2, and then you get a 1 free after that. So I think that's like a huge savings for sure. Thanks, Bo. What's up, Christina? Member for 30 months. Thank you so much. Do you like Purge Troopers more, or do you like Republic Commandos?
Republic Commandos are so much cooler than Purge Troopers.
Yeah. I don't know, because they're harder it's harder to get like cool Republic stuff, and they were just badass.
Yeah. They're elite. Those boys were elite.
So would you like it if the Vader fan film had them?
I would. I think I might like that. Yeah.
Makes me want to play the video game.
Really happy to see you back in your element, Dash. I've missed that voice and content. I think a lot of people have, and I think people have been wanting to see you for a long time, man.
I appreciate it. Oh,
Covering
Fantex
Star
is
Wars.
from the Discord. Thank you, sir. 27 Canadian dollars. I don't know why I said 27 Canadian. I'm so sorry, Fantex. You're a great guy.
He's like shitting on it. Thanks for the pennies.
Like it's not real money. I'm so sorry.
It's not real. Wave, what happened to the Dolphins, aka the fish sticks last week? Who wins in a duel? Return of the Jedi Luke or Count Dooku full power?
Dude,
Oh,
all I
Count
heard
Dooku for
about
power. You get me?
all I heard about on Thanksgiving was the Dolphins from my dad. I'm so sick of I love that you watch football though. Oh, Dooku dog walks Luke.
Yeah,
I'm
he wipes the
sorry.
floor with him.
I'm sorry. Luke in Return of the Jedi, he's not even a Jedi Knight yet. He's just
Mm.
about to go through his trial. And Dooku's a Sith master. Like, come on.
But question there, like the Force and its need to balance things out. Do you think that that could trump power levels? Because it seems like, you know, they try and make excuses for why they slowed down and why, you know, Vader lost or whatever. But I felt like the Force was just so heavy tipped in Luke's hand that like he couldn't lose almost. But maybe that's just me justifying it in my head.
I think Vader gave him the fight.
That's what I think as well.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I
Yeah. Can you imagine him versus Dooku? Oh,
No, he'd get death by a million cuts. That's what it would be.
You get his
a million.
cheeks
He'd
clapped,
just
dude.
flick him with his cape and his eyes. His disrespect. He'd be like, oh, and he'd just cut his nuts off. He'd be like, done.
Oh, geez.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that just went. Oh.
I think that people really overestimate Luke in Return of the Jedi. I think that he, you know, is 10x after that, obviously, but that
Yeah.
Luke, Jedi Padawan Luke.
What's your favorite Luke? Like you use on Vong kind of era where he was just doing crazy shit, you know, where he's destroying that chair with Kaitis on it and stuff. That was that's stuck in my head. Just shit like that where he's just brute forcing people.
Say like New Jedi Order Luke, the one where he's just building his.
I like when he's teaching more than like doing crazy force feats, if you want me to be on. Like,
Yeah.
his whole thing where he's, you know, he's forcing his students to meditate in like a pool of boiling water, and he's like detached from the physical. You're a part of the Force, feel no pain, embrace your energy joining with the galaxy. Like, that's the Luke that I love.
And it's such a natural extension from him throwing that lightsaber down in return. Everything about him on the Praxium, like it just felt like this is like he full power, what a Jedi should be as well. Do you remember in I, Jedi when he's fighting that cat that got his synthetic crystal to go double length in a training exercise because he was taken over by Exo Kun and he was trying to you know, clip Skywalker, and Skywalker was just batting him off. He was just like letting him do it though to show him.
I was just reading that, dude. I was just reading
crazy.
That. Isn't that he hasn't taught the students how to construct the lightsaber yet, and the student shows up that day with a constructed lightsaber, and Luke is like, "What's going on?" Is that same moment? I think it is.
and he's really pissed, and everybody's like, "What's going on?"
Because he hasn't taught any of them how to do that.
That was the first time in any book, at least for me, where I started to realize that you have to charge lightsabers to plug. You have to plug them in.
That was the first book that I read that expanded the universe in the way that I realized outside of Jedi Outcast as well. I started to understand the rules of the Force. It wasn't magic anymore. It really made it science, which Disney tried to retroactively make it mysticism. But like the synthetic crystal, like when he found Corin Horn found the jewel and put it in his lightsaber, or when he used Force Absorb when he went to that crime syndicate and got blasted up and he should have died, but because his family is really strong in it, he used that. Like that kind of stuff. Like the books are so underestimated.
Yeah, those old books are the best.
Yeah. Is it Kip Duran that made the lightsaber out of trash? Do you remember that?
Kip Duran is trash. And no, sorry. I always felt like they get like Luke giving him a free pass. He's like, I'm going to go into a sun and get a ship and kill everybody. And Luke's like, well, he's having a bad
he just
day.
lets it go. He does. That's so true. He really does just like, listen, guys, he had a bad day.
And Corin Horn's just frothing. He's like, I'm 40 and I'm an egomaniac. It's about me. That whole book, I was like, I also love that the main guy, Corin Horn, who becomes a Jedi at like 40, is just a piece of shit. He's just so egotistical. He's like, I'm the best pilot. I'm the sexiest mofo on this planet. And like, just the whole, he wasn't likable. And I love that because it was so nuanced where you're like, he's so flawed. And he got his ass kicked for it. Yes, they're people. They're not just constructs or sexy images of what, you know, whoever's making it wants them to appear to be.
That's what Luke wanted too. He wanted them to be individuals. He wanted them to have families and grow. And like, can you imagine seeing the Star Wars sequels with a Luke who has a reconstituted Jedi Order with all this new lore, and it's not even structured the same. How like wild that would all be,
I
and
wish. That's what I wish we would
fulfilling
have
it
seen.
would be.
And how we would teach how the Jedi were supposed to love. They were supposed to have emotion, but
Exactly.
instead of shying away from it, you embrace it and you
Right.
choose. You make a choice to not use it for bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they do it. They like. I think there was a prospector from I can't believe I'm forgetting this. I'm going to get in trouble. Bespin, and he used to have like winged animals that helped him or something, and he didn't. He was like an old man. His name was Trask, I think. No, anyway, he used the force on the animals to make him dance for his amusement, and then he asks later, was that a dark side thing? And I was like, well, strictly, kind of. And like, that's such a human thing to figure out a new power and to use an animal to do something for you. This sounds horrible, like I abuse animals, but you know what I mean? Like, he didn't know better, but then he kind of reflects upon it. That is so nuanced,
Yeah.
you know, that he regrets what he's done. And I'm like, oh man, just watching that little thing tap dance for him.
Well, it's
He's
like,
this is
yeah, well, you kind of grow up and you like, I mean, I remember I had a magnifying glass and like there were some ants that were just, and I remember I killed a couple of them and I felt extremely bad and I never did it again. But even that moment for me was like something I remember. Like I literally just killed this creature for fucking nothing. And like it kind of makes you grow and realize like, I don't know, you know, when you're a kid and you try to do things to get a reaction out of people, so you feel like you have some sort of power or authority or something, and you do the same shit with a magnifying glass. And I always just really regretted that moment. And that what you said just kind of reminded me of that, where it's like sometimes you don't have bad intentions, but you just are stupid, and then you realize, oh shit, this is not what I want to do or be.
that's how you learn though. Morally, you have to kind of, you test the boundaries. Like I the only difference between you and me is it just made me drunk on power. I was like, oh, I like hurting things.
But yeah, I mean, that's what Luke was all about, is like, you know, how will these people how will these people react to power? How will these people react to having great influence? And it's just such an interesting like an interesting thought line to explore that they just didn't even bother.
And they didn't preach about it too. It was like he just tried to guide people to be better, but he knew that they would fail. There wasn't a preach element. I think that was the biggest change. You didn't feel this overbearing. You could feel the writer going, oh yeah, like, you know, trying to push this message onto you. It made sense.
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember the section in one of the New Jedi Order books where he's thinking about Obi-Wan and Anakin's fall to the dark side, and how how Obi-Wan was truthfully in some way responsible for an aspect of that, and how Luke is fearful that that will happen to him. And it does happen to him more than once. But what's important about that is Luke still resolves to do the right thing, even though he knows the consequence will be dark. And then he just ran away in canon and did nothing.
Ooh,
he
that's
just
kinda
hid.
cool. Anyways, the Lost Tribe are a hidden tribe on a planet named Kesh. Would you ever want to see them worked into a series, and if so, how? Love you, bro. I mean, from Tython? The Lost Tribe. Who are the Lost Tribe again?
There's like a few different Lost Tribes. There's like 3 different ones that come to mind for me. I think remember? Like, isn't one of them like hit on a moon and became like cultists after Naga Sadao? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I think they're talking about the comics.
Ashla and Bogan.
Yeah. That was like the old Republic.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about like Dawn of the Jedi sort of thing.
Like Yuzon Vong, they were used as like human batteries kind of thing.
No, this is the other way. This is like
other way.
This is the Rakatan Empire. This is like back then, I think.
Right? Oh no, not Vong. I meant Rakatan. I apologize. They used these human batteries on their ships, and then they broke free. And one was like, "I'm going to this planet," and the other one's like, "I'm going to this planet because I feel these feelings." And it was very rudimentary, right? Like it was just such a kind of primordial version of each Jedi and Sith.
I can't remember. I'd have to read. I would have to research.
All I remember is one dude was named, I think it was a slave that they were using his power, and I think he got like the dash symbol, from Orabesh, like tattooed on him everywhere, and that was his name. I think that's it. Yeah. But the story just didn't feel that fleshed out to me personally. It just felt
Well,
like
there were
they
a
were
lot
just
of those.
broad stroking.
Yeah, there was a lot of EU stories that didn't feel super fleshed out, but they were there.
Yeah. The problem with
I
the
love
Lost
that they
Tribe
were
of
there.
the problem with the Lost Tribe of the Sith is that's just writers being like, I need to bring the Sith back, but people before me said that they were gone. So they like, okay, they're a lost tribe. Like that's how I've always viewed it. Like I have to find a way
Somehow.
around this.
Somehow they've
Exactly.
returned.
Exactly. But it looks like they were like offshoots of Naga Sadow that killed the natives of a planet that they crash landed on.
Dash, that one's for you.
Didn't you name your kids after Diablo characters? No, I didn't call my son Mephisto or Bale. No, I mean my dog's called Wookiee and he's a little Chihuahua. Like it's all Star Wars. I can't get away from it.
What up, Gord? What up, Siaba? What up, Millsy? Who should I add next to my dark side tattoo sleeve? I don't know. You want a chicken there, Darth Talon?
I was gonna say Revan. Little purple lightsaber action.
I wish we saw her on screen, dude.
Talon?
Yeah.
You a big Crate fan?
I think Crate would have been dope.
Yeah, I'm a huge Crate fan.
I think Crate would have been really cool. The fact that he lived to be so old and outlived the Empire would have been sick.
I do like the Sand People kind of usher out Het, his dad and Obi-Wan to Bad Blood, all of that kind of stuff. It's very interesting. Like I know that they go back to the Sand Planets too much, but I really like the Tusken vibes. Like I don't know, yeah, it's a good story.
Well, what George had in mind was that instead of Crate, it was going to be Maul that would train Talon.
I don't know how you make that float. Like Maul just coming back. I know that that was the only time he came back, but even that was a hard pill. Like I loved the comic where he came back, but like him in a sewer with like spider legs. I'm like, how did you sustain yourself?
Just so stupid, dude.
Yeah,
the spider leg thing
difficult.
was just weird.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
I like that he like had to use trash to remake his legs. I thought that was kind of fun.
1 to 3 minute Star Wars lightsaber battles using tilt shift photography would be a cool idea for a short. Love, Death, and Robots did it. What's tilt shift photography? Let's see. You guys know what this is?
I've seen Love, Death, and Robots, but that's about it.
Yeah, no idea. We're YouTubers. We just press record on like Bandicam or whatever we use the screen.
Dude,
and
I'm really falling in love with photography, to be honest with you. Like I
next
bought a
level.
really nice lens and like a new camera. I've been taking product shots and photos for the Sabers, and just like how lighting plays such a like literally you could like just add one freaking little light and it just changes the whole thing, and it's just the angles, and it's so beautiful just to like see what you create and how you make it look, and then you put it into Lightroom and make it like pop. And I think it's just I like it. I think it's really cool. I want to learn it.
You're making me want to take pictures of lightsabers the way that you say it.
Dude, it's so cool. Like I'm gonna start doing those videos where like you show the setup and stuff, and then I did a couple of them. I just haven't uploaded it yet, but it's wild. And then you show the final product. Like I think those are satisfying. I love those videos. Very satisfying to watch. Like for example, like that's been my setup. A couple nights ago, where I was just got everything kind of going. That little light you see on that black arm there, like that actually makes a difference. That tiny little ass thing.
You're doing really
Wow.
well with lighting too. I see like you set up right now. You got that movie room where you sit with a laptop and just do shit and chill. Like all of your house must be lit so well at this point.
Yeah, I really like. I don't know. I just always liked nice lighting for some reason. I don't know.
And advertising lightsabers is just endless. You can do so much with that. Like you could put them anywhere.
Yeah, and you want to make something good, so you don't want it to look like shit. especially
Yeah, no.
When I have the platform I have, like it can't be just like, again, like I said, like I don't want it to be just something where I slap my name on it and like buy my shit. Like no, it has to be good. Machete Order, we read yours. Thank you again, man. Appreciate it. Happy Thursday, gents. Glad to be here with y'all. Episode 1 and 2 of Skeleton Crew were solid. Do you think we'll get some sort of surprise cameo? No.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's that type of show.
Who would they put in it though?
Jar Jar.
Probably
looking at chat.
Mando. Mando would be a safe bet.
Mando. For those experiencing delays, I also ordered during Order 66 and got them in yesterday. Jeff in Cust service was super helpful keeping me in the loop. Well, we don't have a Jeff, so you're probably thinking Josh, I imagine. My name is Jeff. I'm gonna message the boys and be like, yo, who's Jeff? Unless he gave an alias, but no, he can't. There's a autograph on it. But yeah, that's good. You got it, man. Taking a little longer during the holidays, but it'll get to you. Get Josh back, please. Oh, it's up to Josh, man. Seems like you've been out of the loop. Just got my second BOGO Saber sabers and bought one for third. Damn. Right on. Glad you got it in. That's a sick guitar, man. That's really cool. Do you guys play guitar?
No,
I don't play any
asking
instrument. I don't have the patience. I wish, dude. I have so much it looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks nice. Ahsoka did die in Clone Wars in the Mortis arc. I guess technically.
That doesn't count.
Between the three guys, who do you think would come out alive in a fight between Savage Opress, Quinlan Voss, and Cal Kestis? We would all work together to defeat them. I'm pretty sure we would all die, bro. We don't have the Force or lightsabers.
We would die to any single one of them.
Yeah.
No problem. Low diff.
I would die to like literally anybody. I always think
mouse
you
droid.
watch it. Yeah, you make yourself like you get hyped up. You play a game, you watch a movie, and you're like, I wish I could feel the Force. I just know in the first battle, the first shot, I'm just gone. I'm toast. I hate it too because I'm like, I know I wouldn't survive anything.
Yeah.
So Bulba would probably beat the shit out of us, man.
Yeah, you think you're badass till
two
you try
legs.
to walk without tripping, and then it's like these guys know 7 combat styles.
My theory is the only reason Ahsoka would still be alive after Order 66 is her connection to the light side of the Force. I believe her role shouldn't have been that big during the Empire, though.
I just have the headcanon that because Anakin trained her efficiently enough, she was skilled and knowledgeable to think outside of the bounds of what traditionally Jedi would teach and find a way out.
It's true. We would die to a single battle droid.
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew so far is a good kid story for Star Wars. The next episode will show that one of the kids has 2 moms. They could slip in a lot of DEI after the initial drop episodes. Let's hope not. Yeah, I've seen this. There's going to be 2 moms. Of course, Disney's going to try and put that in there, but at the same time, is it going to be like just a little drop in there, or is it going to be like is there going to be like stupid shit like in the Acolyte with the Force and all this, that, and the other thing? Or is it just like she's got 2 moms? If she's just got 2 moms, gives a shit.
As long as they don't try to make another chosen one.
As long as they're hot.
That's what they want. That's what the people want to hear.
As long as one of them's Sydney Sweeney. Dash is back. What do you three think of Generation Tech? And if you'd invite him onto the stream I've never spoken to him before.
Neither have I.
Yeah. As for the Sabers, twice the weight, double the joy. This is true. Yo, I ordered the Lily Tora Assy for my sister as a Christmas present. Turns out they were out of stock. So Josh from customer support really helped me out and upgraded me to an Emo Boy Ren with the sequels pack. Can't wait. When I say we have the best customer service in the world, I mean it. You're not just getting a bunch of bots that are doing this like part-time. These guys are dedicated. They're Saber heads. They're in the Saber community since before Theory Sabers. And they're my boys, man. They come out to the conventions, and we really care about our customers because we want to build a relationship with you. And truth be told, I've been screwed over by a lot of Saber companies when I used to buy from them. And I never want any of my customers to feel that way. So I'm glad he took care of you, man. Oh, and it's Elias. Elias also was the winner of the Hermit 4. He's in Australia too.
Oh, he mustn't be far from me. Which is the stone's throw one settlement.
He looks out his window. Elias! Yeah!
What'd you think about his joke about hot lesbians? Yay!
The orange pirate from the port in Skeleton Crew looks identical to Piggy from Power Rangers SPD LeMayo. Hey, Angry Badger, what's going on? Should have streamed with him on Critical Drinkers. The Theory, I have 9 of your sabers. I love them all, man. Glad I'm taking part in helping fund the Vader project. To all 3, you all are goats for Star Wars. Dude, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate that. You're really helping us fund the film, and you're also getting, in my opinion, the best sabers in the world with the most to offer. And I really appreciate it. I hope you continue to be a collector, and I hope you're looking out for that Roger Christian origin coming. We're going to launch it next week, so. You've not reached out to my lawyer about compensation for getting my arm chopped off during the Annie 3. You're using the Annie 3. I told you about this. I can't regrow my arm, and I'm feeling like Tenel Ka. Love you and wave. What up, Sukiyuki?
Sukiyuki.
She still hasn't forgiven you, bro.
I know. I'm trying.
All right.
I'm trying.
I'll make sure I reach out to your lawyer about that. We'll see what happens. But, just, I don't know, put a Band-Aid on it or something for now.
Band-Aid on.
You guys read the books with Abeloth? I like them. Abeloth is a really interesting character in the sense that it's like almost, I don't want to say too far-fetched for Legends, but like it kind of is. It's just it's like a freaking, I don't know how they're going to incorporate this into Ahsoka 2, which I think they could actually now. I wasn't a believer before.
I think they're going to.
I think they're going to too, and to be able to see like what they're going to do with this and how they're going to incorporate such a horrific character, to me is like, all right, we're going to go very Legends now at this point, but let's see how they do it. We'll see how they execute.
Yeah. Abeloth is like the definition of cosmic horror.
Yeah.
I think the problem too is how powerful. Like when you get to that point.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, you have to. In Legends, it was like, how do we make someone stronger than Luke? Like it was like, well, I guess we have to make Abeloth. But here, she's not going to be that strong, guys. I'd be very surprised if she's even a fraction of Legends Abeloth power.
Of course not, because then she would have to be stronger than Rey. Can't have that.
Yeah, a lot stronger than Rey.
Can't have that. You guys were hired at Lucasfilm. If Disney loses Star Wars IP, what would be the first project you'd work on? Would you redo the sequel trilogy? Full power? All right, I go
Unlimited.
first. I go first. Sequel trilogy is not canon. No Disney Star Wars project is canon. Everything, it becomes some sort of like offshoot, doesn't count. We redo the sequels, but taking place, maybe just a few years after Return of the Jedi. We adapt a lot of the books into movies. No more shows. We greenlight Battlefront 3. We do the Darth Maul game. We do 1313. We do Force Unleashed 3. We do Force Unleashed 1 and 2 in today's graphics. Darth Bane trilogy movie. We do a Plagueis movie or trilogy. And then we also do Old Republic. And then we just release a shitload of games. That would be the first probably 5 years. And then after that, we can focus on other shit. What would you guys do?
I'm not gonna go ahead, Dash.
No, by all means.
I think that I'm not gonna go that big. I think I just go back is my first move. I don't want to, get too ambitious too quickly. I just do an Old Republic trilogy of films and just focus all my effort into those 3. And then, maybe once things have sat, Palpatine movie for sure. And then maybe a Palpatine series, perhaps. Darth Bane for sure. I think the concept of a First Jedi film does need to happen. I think that's really cool, exploring like what the Jedi believed 10,000 years ago. How have they evolved? And then I do Clone Wars style Luke Skywalker show with Luke immediately after Return of the Jedi. Those are like my big projects.
Nice. Well, as long as Theory is in charge of everything and he's going to reboot, like there's like 40 games they canceled in 2005, like Jedi Academy and KOTOR 3. He can do all that. Put me down in the basement. I'll create the branch called Star Wars Dark. I would make Red Harvest #1, Death Troopers, Star Wars, like more Lockdown, Shadow Hunter, Bane, Plague, like whatever. I won't get Plagueis off these boys or Bane. Just Star Wars Dark. I would make all the dark. Yeah, I'd make the dark stuff and be happy as a pig in shit for a decade.
Hell yeah. Bro, that would be amazing if the 3 of us. Nuts. It'd be so cool.
I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, you do.
I would be so excited. Oh, I know what I would do, but I don't know what I would do with like myself. Like that would be insane.
Yeah. Bro, we'd have sleepovers at Lucasfilm like every day.
Yeah, no, I'm living there. That's my house.
Wouldn't you evict everybody though first? Just
everyone gets fired. Oh yeah, no. Let me make it clear. Everybody gets canned. Everybody. The only people I would keep is Jon Favreau.
Yes.
Dave Filoni. I'd really need to talk to him and be like, dude, what the hell happened with the ending of the Acolyte, with the ending of Ahsoka, with the Acolyte, and with Boba Fett, and with Mando season 3? What's going on? What are we doing here? And then I would just completely wipe everyone else. They're fired. See you later.
Would you find Hidalgo's desk and just lick his tears and then walk away?
No, man. I would just bring in someone new. They ain't going to waste any time on anybody.
I'll lick the tears if he won't.
All right. All right. Sure. Yeah. Then
he was the guy that made fun of you though, right? That was the guy that made fun of you for crying over Star Wars.
Oh, it was him. It was Explain's wife. It was a whole bunch of people on Twitter and
just making sure that I didn't name someone randomly that that there was context to that joke. It was a throwback.
Oh yeah, Devin at Lucasfilm. We're gonna lick your tears up, Devin. Watch out.
Every time I'd watch those new trailers of the sequels, I'd actually just like get teary, and I realized it was the music. Something about John Williams tracks like swelling and stuff. Like it just hits you really. I don't know what it is. So I was like, man, every time. I
had that on repeat, like just the music when that first trailer dropped, and I probably listened to that hundreds of times. No joke. It's special.
Actually, this is funny. MTV reached out to me and said, "Can we use a clip of you for an award show?" So I was on like a big screen with like a crowd of people. I said, "Yeah, oh yeah, I'll be on MTV for 2 seconds." They used me crying.
Oh no, dude!
Son of a bitch.
At least you were up there. That's cool.
Yeah,
brand presence, whatever. I'd also bring back. So George was really big on fan films. He used to hold contests and shit like that. Look, now Disney doesn't do that. He would give awards. He would give out prizes. But yeah. So that's definitely. I think the fans. That was one thing I remember Lucasfilm had a really great touch on was the fans, and to do that even before Twitter and all this shit, pretty special. You'd in the magazines be like, mail in to Lucasfilm, like send us dude, it was great. So magical. I'm so fortunate to have been born in that time in the 90s and 2000s where I got to experience all that. I seriously think it was the best time, best era.
Sorry, Wave.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
I understand.
We're old.
No, you're not old. You're seasoned.
Come on, lie to me. Seasons.
Imagine
Leathery
limited.
steak.
Lie to me.
Yeah. Well, they were amazing. Those were amazing times.
Oh,
the
I'm sure.
transition of into. I mean, for God's sakes, backlit screens didn't even exist. You can imagine that. Or Game Boy, I had to shine you had to buy this accessory to shine a light on your Game Boy screen.
And magnify. It was so
Remember that shit?
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you couldn't play it late at night, and then they came out with I think it was like Game Boy Color or something, and then it had I think it was lit up, and you could change the brightness of it, and that was revolutionary. It was some shitty light behind it. It would blind you as a kid, but it worked. It's a wild time. It all happened so fast, but at least we got to experience it. Imagine a limited series of Anakin's journey in the in-between, eventually becoming an ethereal chosen one, like what was hinted in the Mortis arc.
Maybe.
Like him going into the Force?
I'm confused. Is this an Elseworld story, or is he saying in line with what we saw in Ahsoka?
I don't know.
Confused.
A little confused as well. Thank you, Ben. Here's my contribution to your amazing project. Thanks, Pax.
Thank you, Pax.
Ahsoka is top 5 favorite characters for me. I'm happy she's still alive because she's a legacy character. She should have been the female focus movies. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't make her the Rey. Oh, well.
Do you think Alien? Because that doesn't resonate with people as much to sell toys, an alien lead. I know that sounds weird. Discrimination against aliens.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, for God's sakes, I look how successful the Transformers franchise is. The robots. Yeah.
I think the variable design is a thing that would help them, but I don't know why they do what they do.
They're out of touch. They don't get it. They think they get it. Your overconfidence is your weakness. Just my daily reminder: a Kyle Katarn Jedi Knight, Dark Forces, or Jedi Outcast movie would make $1 billion if done correct.
I don't think they can do it anymore. Isn't the same writer who reviewed Dark Forces 2, Gary Whitta, didn't he rewrite Rogue One and then just switched Jyn Erso and Kyle Katarn for Jan and Kyle to Jyn and Cassian? Isn't Cassian Andor technically Kyle Katarn at this point? He can feel the Force, and yeah, it's well, how do you Kyle him now? You
don't.
Yeah, you don't. He's
because then you don't got to pay royalties.
Yeah,
on those characters.
I don't know. Kyle Katarn was never a character I really fell in love with.
Only money. Hello there. Question. I don't know if you've addressed already, but I've seen so much advertisement for every other Saber company but yours, even though I've been to your site a million times. Why is that? We don't pour money into advertisements, and we're just getting our SEO started. So everything is organic. Our growth is I mean, it's like 8.5 years of work on YouTube for sure, is what you're seeing. But we don't advertise beyond what I do. So we're now working on it. Now going to implement it. But the first 6-7 months of it's only been 6-7 months of the official launch of the website. So everything's been super organic. But the thing is that when you do see advertisements for other companies, you think of us. That's where it goes. That's how it works. Anyways. Yeah. I think I've learned so much from just business alone and like the Saber industry and other companies and their practices, and I think it's just very interesting, and just kind of figuring out my way business wise is to keep the company alive, and namely to keep Vader funded. I'd love to talk about it someday, to do like a business video or something. I think it would be cool. Kind of talk about all the logistics and everything that goes inside of running the company, and just be totally transparent about everything. Could be a fun video.
Be great for the next generation who are scared to take that step, a
For
blueprint.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely scary, especially when you have a lot of other companies that are out there. And I used to be a customer of a lot of them, and then a lot of those ones I used to be a customer of are lying about me now and throwing shade, and I've captured it all on video. I just never posted it, but
Oh, geez.
oh yeah, man.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, really dirty work. But look, I'm really focused on my journey, and I want to put all my energy into that, and time is the only thing I can never get back. So I just want to really keep going in my direction, and that's kind of, I've always stayed in my lane. It took me 8 years to talk about the Star Wars Explained bullshit. I just want to stay on my lane, but finally they had it coming. I'm glad that I opened my mouth, but everything else, man, I'm just we're doing great, and this is just the beginning. So we appreciate everyone trusting us, and we hope you look forward to more products in the film. Dave put out a casting call for the mother in season 2. Is that a rumor or is that real?
If that's real, that means they're not going to make Shin the mother, which is like the biggest rumor, which I don't like that. They both have blonde hair. That's basically what everyone's going off.
Watch them DEI Abeloth.
I could see that happening for sure.
That'd be crazy. I think someone hack your Discord and change your server's icon SWT picture into a reindeer. Oh no, that's the Christmas version, bro. It's December. Oh, dude, thank you, CTMZ. Be
Thank you.
blessed. Thanks, man. It's very nice of you. And you be blessed as well. Gladiator era Russell Crowe for Kyle Katarn.
That would go hard.
On another topic, I haven't seen Gladiator 2 yet. Have you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah, we were talking about it. It's basically a remake of the first movie, man.
Oh, we did talk about it a few weeks ago or something, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I liked it. It was enjoyable, but the first Gladiator movie is just a masterpiece. Like from score to acting to directing, it's got the whole thing. And if you don't want to sully that, don't. So if you have reservation, keep it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. The first one is my favorite movie of all time, and I just don't want to muddy it up.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of people have been saying that the second one has for them. I don't know if you guys have. Yeah. It didn't for me, but Gladiator's not my favorite movie. If it was, I would have my reservations.
Do you think well, maybe I should see it, man. I'm sure I can if I can differentiate Star Wars, man, I can differentiate Gladiator.
Yeah, I don't think it's not some dumpster fire. Like it's very entertaining. Denzel Washington is a very intriguing, character, and the action sequences are good. If you just go in there and you're like, this is not going to be historically accurate at all, and if that doesn't bug you, then go for it. But
Does it have the same gravity and tension as the first one?
no, the first one let its scenes breathe. This one is racing for the finish line. So
Interesting.
if you want scale, though, it's definitely got scale and cool fights. But if that's going to
Who says that though? I don't want this film to have heart. I just want bombastic effects. And can we get like water in the arena and sharks and shit flying? Is Michael Bay like lobbying? Please make explosions.
Is that what happened? Is there fucking water in the arena with sharks?
Yeah, there's sharks.
Fuck off! No.
They did actually flood the arena historically, but not ever with sharks, obviously. But the arena was flooded for naval to reenact naval battles for real.
Oh, okay.
But here's a cool thing.
You're one of those Rome guys, aren't you? You think about Rome every day. I'm starting to pick up on it. You know a lot about it.
My family's probably from Rome. I'm a fair-skinned Italian, so I love that shit. I love it. They could have had
Stupendous.
Stupendous wave.
That's my guy.
Or I fucking whack you, okay?
Listen, guys. Another cool thing about Rome, I'm not going to stop. You opened it. You opened the Colosseum. They did actually have Nile crocodiles in the gladiatorial games. That's something that actually happened. So why not just replace the sharks with crocodiles? That's historically accurate and badass.
Interesting. Who's that? Who says that in chat? Oh, where is he? Oh, I missed it. It's a me, stupendous. Although it is hard to forgive you, Wave, I must, or I'd look like Kathleen Kennedy, and I don't want to look like her. Also, hello, Dashar.
Hey, Suki. Oh, that's her name. Yeah?
Yeah, Suki Yuki.
I didn't want to say it wrong and then be like... Isn't it funny that I pay deference to another culture? I'm like, I don't want to offend you. After I'm like, hey, Wave, who is this guy?
And before that, called it Chinese whisperer or something like that.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
They can call the sequel trilogy an alt future for the world between worlds, and they could write it off as a forced vision or something. Also, what about a live action Captain Rex show?
Set when? Is this after? Is this like after Rebels?
I would like a younger Captain Rex, not old.
So just like strictly Clone Wars show, but like Rex is your protagonist,
or after Order 66.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yo, Theory owned 3 of your sabers so far, and they are freaking sick. Did you say when you're dropping that sweet Roger Christian saber? Also, I see other groups are doing the Gungi saber with the wood grain. Yeah, we have a very special saber coming out around the time of Vader Episode 2 that you will find interesting. I'll just say that much. But the Roger Christian Origin saber is going to come out. We're aiming to launch that next week. So, we promised before Christmas. We know a lot of people are buying Christmas presents for people or for themselves or whatever. So we want to be able to bring that out. And so we'll probably launch that. Let me look at the calendar. I don't know. When do you guys, a lot of you guys are saying like, oh, I hope you drop it when I get paid, because a lot of people are worried about it selling out. What's a date that you guys would prefer? I mean, what's like the best date for a lot of people? Unless you just, because next weekend is starts on the 13th. We'll see. We'll see. It's up to you guys. I really want to incorporate you guys into a lot of the decisions. I like Kyle and Jarek. Cast Critical Drinker as Katarn and Mauler as the Force. No wonder people get mad at you guys all the time. I just doesn't make up news. How dare you much, Ahsoka Sabers. Theory, are you setting up at Fan Expo Dallas next year? Yeah, we should be there. We should be there, brother. We're our next convention's in Orlando, February 6th to the 9th at MegaCon. We're gearing up for that, partner. I can't wait to be back in Texas, so that'll be fun.
You oddly suit that Texan hat so well. I saw that hat, I thought, God, he's found
Yeah.
the perfect, because it's hard to find a good hat that
I know.
fits you.
It looks better than like regular hats on me. I don't know why. It just fits. Maybe I'm meant to be in Texas.
I saw how expensive they were in the video, though. Holy
Insane. Partner, how you doing, partner? What's going on? Yeah, no, it's pretty insane how expensive they can get, but it's wild. Some of them were like $5,000.
jeez.
Dash, what do you think of Kyle and Malak?
Kyle he's good. He's kind of a guy that you step into his shoes more. You know, a lot of these protagonists were meant. Look, he is a Gary Stu. If you look at Dark Forces 2, where he picks up a lightsaber and he kicks the shit out of people, yeah, the novel actually opens it up a bit. But I felt like he's not really fleshed out. He's more just a game character. But again, it's my favorite game, Outcast. Malik, the comics of the Old Republic were amazing with his backstory. I felt like he wasn't retreading Vader. I love Malik. Malik's top tier. I really liked him. What about you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Malik's
Mal-
badass, dude. Him and his story with Revan. I think it's it'd make a great story. Make a great movie, show.
Malik is stupid underrated. He's crazy underrated.
That would be a Stetson.
I didn't so much like Katarn because of how he views the Force. You know, there's no good or bad Force ability. It's just how you use it inherently. And that stands in stark contrast to like my favorite Star Wars thing, which is the Darth Plagueis novel, where he even addresses that. And he says any Jedi that says that is lying to themselves. It's not true. So
What if he was though? And that's the part. He's a little bit deluded. Like I did find it. I like the idea that the Force isn't inherently good or evil, but also when you're sizzling some Rodian's nuts off with Force lightning, like come on, let's, it's not electric judgment. That's lightning cooking them internally.
Yeah.
Chestnuts roasting on a Lads, are any of you into 40K? And if so, if you were shoved into a faction, which would you guys be? I'm not into 40K I would spend a lot of time at Games Workshop as a kid, but my parents didn't buy me the sets.
All I know is that the lore regarding it is insane. That's all I see.
That's all I hear.
And when
you can get buried, yeah.
Whenever I post videos, it's like, this sounds like 40K.
Yeah. Seems like
Do
it's
people
got
try and
cool
get
lore.
you guys in?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Probably, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I get people saying, "Oh, you should do 40K," and it's like they're like, "It's so intricate," and I'm like, "I don't know if I want to get buried in another fandom."
Exactly. It's hard. It's hard to stay like up on all of it.
It is, yeah. And it's kind of like it kind of gets to the point where it's like, okay, well, I kind of just want to I have a Cobra Kai channel, and I also have a Dragon Ball channel, 2 franchises I absolutely love, and it's like I haven't made content for any of the new stuff yet. But I've enjoyed them. I've watched them. I've enjoyed them. I just sometimes I'm like not rushing to make content right away. I kind of just want to enjoy it and then marinate on it and maybe watch it again. But yeah, it gets cumbersome to constantly be making content about everything and then fall into another, faction for Warhammer 40K. Fuck, dude. I don't think I would have time for anything.
Yeah, it's tough. I barely added the Rome to mine.
The Rome?
Yeah, just getting into the Gladiator got me into ancient Rome. That stuff is actually way better than any movie you could ever watch. The emperors, they're the most brutal, evil sons of bitches you could ever meet. Just awful people.
You should make a Right.
I
Should make
thought
a
about
channel about history.
I've thought about it. Yeah.
What would you call it? History Wave? Stupendous
Yeah.
History?
I have no
Stupendous.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. If I find time to do it, I will. But again, when you make it your job, I don't know about you guys, but I know it impacts the enjoyment of it, especially when you have to slog through something that maybe you're not interested in Star Wars. It's just so big, you have to do that sometimes.
Yeah. No, I know.
I think that real life history is the best storytelling, and that I need to learn more about it. And Rome, I was ignorant and thought Rome, like ancient Rome, was still much closer. Like it was like 1,000
No.
years ago. And so, everybody's like, oh, but did you see, what do they have, like aqueducts through the city and plumbing kind of stuff? And it was amazing. And I agree, but like I started reading a story about Mary Antoinette and her kid and what they did to her kid just because of her, the famous French woman they cut the head off. And I was like, this makes me want to like cry. Like it makes me physically ill when you're reading about it. Or like Guy Fawkes and stuff. Like history is so much more brutal than any story. Like I like dark shit, but I'm like, this happened to a human being?
Exactly.
Like,
history goes there, and it goes there like frequently too. It's
You
not
know-
like one or two things. It's like, have you ever heard of the year 5 emperors in Rome?
No.
There was a year
school this.
in Rome where there were 5 emperors that reigned. And it literally went from one being like choked to death in a bathroom to a bidding war between the Praetorian Guard, between these two high-ranking officials, one of which has just discovered that the emperor is dead, and the only reason he's with the guards is because he went there to try and stop them from killing the emperor. And now he's just standing there and he's like, oh fuck, what do? I guess I have to vie for the throne. It's just insane stuff like that would only happen in real life. So anyway, I should probably make a channel on it.
It would be cool,
100%.
yeah. And I think you're passionate about it the way you're talking about it, and be a cool history lesson for people. You know what's fucked up is like there's that kind of shit happening all over the world. We just don't know about it.
I know that's so fucked up. I know exactly what you're saying.
It's horrible.
And so and sometimes you read about it in the news and it's just like, wow.
Yep. You guys need to hit up Fan XCon in Utah. Yeah, I think we're going to try and be at all of them. I have a Theory Sabers booth. Malgus Deceived is my fave one off Star Wars books.
Love the love
You
story.
3 are my go-to for all things Star Wars. Right on. Well, yeah, I hope Dash something with the new channel or the old channel, or I don't know. Check your Instagram when you're done, Dash. When we're done here. That's pretty much it, guys. Unless there's something more you want to add.
I don't
Thank
have
you.
anything. It's been so cool to hang out with Dash again.
Yeah, it really has. It's a long
I've
time
had too
coming.
much fun. Too much fun.
Yeah. You want to come on again?
Yeah, of course, dude. Anytime. Like I love to just like hopefully it's not as hot. I've been just melting the whole time like a candle.
What time is it there?
It's 2:48 p.m. But these are the literal hottest because we're in the middle of summer in Australia because we're in down underverse, and it's just the literal hottest. And my office is a converted old shed that they haven't insulated properly.
Oh, you poor thing.
It's just cooking.
Man.
No, don't worry about me. I'm just saying next time it'll probably
smelled.
be, yeah, it'll be a. Hopefully, I don't look like I'm just suffering.
Yeah, you can't tell though.
Well, that's good. No,
Yeah.
I love it. I especially you guys because we all get along, but we all kind of have the same era and the same kind of thoughts. It's just not saying we're circle jacking, but it's a lot of fun.
No, I get what you're saying because yeah, I like doing shows with you guys because it's like we kind of came from that same era. We all get each other. The respect is there. It's the same and it's mutual and it's like, yeah, it's just different. And
I have
really
fun
appreciate it.
every week. I have fun every week.
Yeah, I really like it, man. So, I'd be down to even make it a trifecta, man.
I would too.
we'll see where it goes.
I thought Stupendous was gonna be like, we need to talk after this theory.
No, I
Get this
enjoy.
bozo out of here.
No, I
No,
won't have it. It's not a gatekeeping thing.
No. Yeah. So, chat, how did you feel about it? How do you feel about the conversation compared to, you know, the other weeks and stuff like that? We'll see what they say, and we'll be reading your comments after we go off live. So, we love you guys. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned for Dash Star, or you know, you can see him on his current channel, Dark Lord Dash, and check out Stupendous Wave, and of course, you know where I'm at. So, love you all, and we will see you next time.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
See ya.
I'm not the Jedi I should be. I want more. And you're sounding like a separatist.